And we are live. We are back. Match week 22, the roundup. We did the preview, and now we're back to talk about those games. We have 8 matches to go through. 2 matches were postponed, the North London derby and the Burnley versus Leicester game. And I did talk about all 10 games during the preview, but, I'll have to do it all over again. But look, I'm back to do the roundup all over again like I've been doing for the first 21 weeks of the season. So appreciate everybody who tuned in to the live stream today. If you're watching the replay, hope you getting, I'm hoping you're going to get a lot of value, you know what I'm saying, from the stream and everything. And thank you very much for the continued support. So how are we looking, man? Big up to everybody in the stream right about now. We got Jordan Hyman. Talk to me, guys. Make sure you smash up the thumbs up button. It's late. It's 8:33 p.m. local time over in New York. And I've been grinding all day. And when I say all day, I mean I woke up about 4:50 a.m. and I've been going non-stop ever since. You see what I'm saying? Had to do a little, bit of refreshing before the stream. Watch a couple highlights and things like that. I saw the game, Brighton, Jesus Christ, Brighton, Crystal Palace at M23 derby, but that was since Friday, and I was trying to watch the highlights again, but I was strapped for time, you know what I'm saying? I had to run in the shower and everything. And guys, big announcement. Today's stream is brought to you by MANSCAPED, and for the very first time, I used the MANSCAPED body wash. Woo! Beautiful. Beautiful. Smells so damn good. And when I was done, I feel so good. I feel so refreshed. And for some reason, it give me that, energy. Invigorate me to come and do this stream with you. So, guys, today's stream brought to you by MANSCAPED. Use the code Dominic Rich to get yourself 20% off your orders. Free shipping. All the links will be in the description box down below. So without further ado, let's get into today's content, man. First of all, we have the December awards. Budweiser Goal of the Month contenders. They were actually awarded. So let's just refresh that. And let's see. Stunning. Lacazette. Lacazette won it. November. Lacazette strike voted Budweiser Goal of the Month. Okay, so big up to Lacazette. And he wins Goal of the Month. Arsenal's forwards finished to stunning team goal against Southampton earns him the December award. To be honest, man, that goal is not so memorable. I can't remember it. Seriously, I really can't. But congrats to Lacazette for winning the Goal of the Month. Player of the Month, of course, was given to Raheem Sterling. And as you guys could see right here, Raheem Sterling, Player of the Month. Just a couple months ago, I wanted him out of City. But now he's winning Goal of the Month. So you see how, see how the tables could turn. Not Goal of the Month, Player of the Month. You see how the tables could turn really quickly. You see how fickle us football fans could be. So Man City winger claims accolade for the 3rd time after scoring 5 goals for the leaders in December. So EA Sports Player of the Month for December 2021 is Raheem Sterling. And he did reach 100 Premier League goals as well. So big up to the boy Raheem the Dream Sterling. And Raheem, bro, I just like to take the time to apologize to you, bro. I was really harsh on you. I should have been a bit more patient, but it's all good, man. It is all good. I admit I'm a fickle football fan too. So, yeah, we're just going to keep it moving, Raheem. Just forget I said all those things, and I wish you all the best, while you're a Man City player. So, the other award, Pep Guardiola, yet again, wins the Manager of the Month award. And Pep says he don't really care about these awards too much, you know what I mean? Spaniard secures successive awards after leading tabletop in Man City to a perfect run of 7 wins. So Pep Guardiola has claimed back-to-back Barclays Manager of the Month award after winning the December's prize. The Man City manager steered his Premier League leaders to 7 wins out of 7 as they finished the month 8 points clear at the top of the table. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. We should have won all 3 awards if you ask me. But it's okay. It's okay. You got to share. You got to share the spoils, you know what I mean? So that's just to kick off today's live stream. A bit of warm-up there. And let's go to the page and see if there's any... What's the headlines? What's the headlines? Liverpool beat Brentford to keep pressure on City. Is there even any pressure on City right now, to be honest? We shall talk about that a bit later. Look, Harrison hat-trick inspires Leeds at West Ham. Nice. Really good hat-trick. The former City player. He never played for City, but still, you know what I'm saying? He was a City player indeed. So, yeah, we're going to get into the proceedings. Also, Everton part company with manager Benitez. And Lewis Baker leaves Chelsea as well to join Stoke City after featuring recently in one of the FA Cup games, I think. So, look, a lot of things to talk about, and let's make it happen. So, how's everybody in here feeling, man? Big up to Gregory Reed. Hey, Dom, how are you doing? Blessings from the Jamaican living in Jersey. Big up to you, man. Big up to the obvious girl. How are you, man? How are you? Nice to see you in here. Nice to see FDT Steve in the house as well. Big up to you, whoever you are, and everybody watching. Guys, make sure you smash up the thumbs up button for the live stream, and we're going to get into proceedings. So the way we're going to do things today, I don't want to be too drawn out on the fixtures that, you know, the more low-key fixtures. Don't want to be too drawn out on those, but I will talk about all the teams and so on and so forth. So let's click the results. And the first game that we want to talk about today is the game between Brighton and Crystal Palace that finished 1-1. But there were some midweek fixtures, guys. Southampton did beat Brentford 4-1, and West Ham defeated Norwich 2-0. So let's start with Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 1. Yet another game where Crystal Palace score first and Brighton come back late to actually earn a point. So it was a very open game of football. Very, very exciting stuff, to say the least. And we had to see the camera pan on Patrick Vieira's face one more time as he is left disappointed after dropping points from a winning position. So Conor Gallagher back in the team, scored a 69th-minute goal. He has been the best player this season for Crystal Palace, and the Eagles would actually look to sign him on a permanent basis, but I doubt Chelsea would actually allow that. They would want to keep him and use him next season, and maybe get rid of Jorginho. Nice joke, right, Dom? Nice joke. Very, very nice joke. But Brighton fought hard. Neil Maupay did score a goal, but it was chalked off. And I think it was rightfully chalked off because the goalkeeper had already gobbled up the ball, and Maupay, even though it's good that he's aggressive, actually knocked the ball out of his hands and put it into the back of the net. So a point apiece for both teams. I don't want to be too long-winded with this one, but Jack Butland in goal was brilliant on the day. He actually pulled off his first penalty save as a Premier League goalkeeper. Remember a couple years ago, he was, one touted for big things, but he got to really start over again. And we know he's a quality keeper, but I'm just surprised of the fact that Crystal Palace keeps rotating Vicente Guaita and, of course, Jack Butland. So, did pull off an early save as well of Trossard, and did come and save the penalty in the 38th minute. So, look, the equalizer for Brighton was scored by Joachim Andersen. It was an own goal, but it was because of the resilience and the persistence of Brighton, they just never ever say die. You know what I mean? They just keep coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. And that's the hallmark of a very, very, very good team. We know they haven't picked up a lot of wins this season, right? But they are very, very, very difficult team to beat, I have to say. Gotta give it to Brighton, man. Seriously. These guys are, let's say, overachieving so far this season. You're talking about Brighton 9th right now with 28 points. When you think about the seasons that have gone, listen, Brighton was in a relegation scrap. They barely got over the finish line. But now 28 points, just over the halfway mark. That's absolutely remarkable by Graham Potter and his boys. And even in the absence of Enoch Mwepu and Yves Bissouma, the Seagulls still get the business done. Albeit 1 point, still a very, very good point. They are now the draw kings of the league with 10 draws, one above Southampton and Crystal Palace. So, look, points are points, man. Points are points. They have only been beaten 4 times. And look, only Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City has less losses than Brighton this season. So, well played. And it was a very entertaining M23 derby, I gotta say. And, you know, I think it was a fair result in the end. But Crystal Palace definitely got to work a lot harder on seeing games out and managing games. That is something that I've been talking about all season, and Patrick Vieira has to work on that. Definitely. Brighton, resounding 19 shots at goal, 4 on target with 64% of the ball. And imagine that they were chasing the game up until the 87th minute before that Joachim Andersen own goal. Crystal Palace only managed 3 shots at goal, 1 on target, only had 36% of the ball. And the fact that they are without Wilfried Zaha, Cheku Kouyaté, and Jordan Ayew, this is a great result. And you got to give credit to players like Michael Olise, Eberiche Eze, Will Hughes, Conor Gallagher, for all stepping up in, you know, those players' absence. So, good result for both teams, if you ask me. But Crystal Palace would have, you know, preferred the 3 points, of course. And they will feel that they should have gotten the 3 points. So they can't be too hard on themselves. They're the one that plays more attacking football than they used to under Roy Hodgson. So it is what it is. So that's my thoughts on that game. If you have anything else to add, please do so in the chat. I will definitely appreciate it. But look, before I go, let me hit you with some insights. I want to give you as much information as possible. Right now, unbeaten in their last 4 Premier League games, 2 wins and 2 draws, taking 8 points in that time, as many as they had managed in their previous 11 top flight fixtures. So Brighton have bounced back after that 11-match slump. Crystal Palace have enjoyed just 1 win in their last 12 away Premier League games, drawing 4 and losing 7, after winning 3 of the 7 before that. So great start on the road, but they have been pegged back and they got to work on that. Brighton have scored 6 goals in the final 5 minutes of the Premier League games this season, a joint high among with Chelsea and Manchester City. I like to call them Mini Man City, and they're definitely living up to that name, man. Look, their next game will be against Chelsea, and they will be looking forward to that one, as they have picked up a point against Chelsea just on the 29th of December. So for the Eagles, Crystal Palace, their next game will be against Liverpool. A Liverpool without Salah and Mane, but the Reds showed us today that they could get the business done without their talismanic Africans. So that's going to be a tough game. Crystal Palace versus Liverpool most of the time is a mismatch. And then they do have an FA Cup game. Them Norwich, Brentford, and then Chelsea. So that's my thoughts on that first game. Let me know yours in the chat. Big up to Miss Melina in the house, man. How you feeling, Melina? I got to get you on soon, though. But Arsenal didn't play this week. So I was like, you know what? maybe another time. Maybe another time. So big up to Melina. Thank you very much for coming through and supporting the thing. You the real deal. Remember, I told you so. Remember, I told you. You're the real deal, girl. You know what I'm saying? How things in Canada, though? It must be really, really freaking cold right now, because in New York, across the last couple of days, cold as hell. Well, hell's not actually cold, but you know what I'm saying? Still, man. So big up to Victory George in the house. Big up to Andrew Naftali in the house. Big win for Leeds over West Ham. Who else we got in here, man? FDT, how are you doing again? Who else we got? Big up to the boy Demo Dre. Nice to see you in here. Shane Mousse in the house. How are you doing? Ilom Kwesi as well. How are you guys doing? We're going to keep it moving. I don't know why my nose feels like it's running right now. I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not sick or anything. So I really don't know. I don't understand. So I should have been moving these visuals, but I didn't. But yeah, man. Yeah, we'll talk some more about Brighton and Crystal Palace, where both teams are in a very good position right now, with Brighton in 9th and Crystal Palace 11th in the league. So these teams are just where they want to be, and things could only get better for both clubs. So we're going to move on to the next game. And the next one that we're going to talk about is the game between Newcastle and Watford. Newcastle 1, Watford 1. I do think Watford deserve a point, man. They done gone in the transfer window, spent a lot of money, and they started all three of their new boys. You know what I mean? As for Newcastle, a couple new men as well, and they chose to start them. So we had about 5 debutants in this game, and it was an exciting game. But you got to give it to Watford, though. You really got to give it to them for just fighting and just pushing Newcastle to the very end and earning that point. So Chris Wood, release clause triggered. Former Burnley man, and Burnley must be pissed right now, but trigger the release clause. If the player wants to join, the player joins. You know what I'm saying? And that's Chris Wood right there. Frustrating game for him. He did get a few look-ins at the beginning of the game, and very unlucky not to score. You know what I mean? But look, he's either going to help Newcastle stay up, or it's going to be the opposite. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be a waste of money. Chris Wood back in the championship with Newcastle. So, look. Chris Wood and Trippier started the game. Trippier, dead ball specialist, really good on the free kicks and corners. Good pass of the ball as well. And has experience playing at Atletico Madrid, England national team. Paul Dummett, after a long injury layoff, is back. And, you know, he started at left back. Martin Dubravka turned 33 on the day, so happy belated birthday to him. And for Watford, Ben Foster started. He's been fit again. Hard luck to Daniel Bachmann, who's basically the backup goalkeeper this season. Debutant for Hassani Kamara, brought in from OGC Nice. Josh King turned 30 on the day as well, so happy birthday to him. Samir, brought over from Udinese, the Brazilian, also started with the Congolese midfielder Edo Kayembe. It would have been a pity if all these players was brought in, started, and they lose the game, right? Could have ended like that. So early yellow card in the game for John Joe Shelvey, and that put him under pressure for the rest of the game. Of course, we know Shelvey is a very feisty character. 11th minute, Joel Linton hit the post. Very close shave, almost opened the scoring. You got to give it to Joel Linton, though. He has transformed himself from a very unproductive scorer, unproductive striker, I should say, to a hustling and bustling box-to-box midfielder. So, look, bright start for Newcastle. Unlucky not to get one of those chances into the back of the net. And it was 0-0 at halftime. Look, Ngakia failed to control the ball. The opening goal here. Opening goal scored by Alain Saint-Maximin. Ball played down towards the left, Newcastle's left, attacking left. And then Gakia, who had a great first half, who has been, stellar for Watford this season, failed to control the ball. And Alain Saint-Maximin just, hanging out around him, stole the ball away from him, and brilliant individual move to get away from his first defender and to get a shot off in such, quick motion. You got to give it to Alain Saint-Maximin, man. The man is a live wire, and he is definitely one of the best players in the Premier League. Fun to watch. Open the scoring there for Newcastle. But it's a pity that Eddie Howe's men could not hold on to the lead. And this has been their problem this season. The 10th time that they scored first this season, and they have only won one of those games, dropping 19 points from winning positions. Josh King did get a chance, smothered in the 61st minute by Martin Dubravka, and there was a big chance for Musa Sissoko to equalize against his former team, Newcastle, in the 67th minute, and he blasted it over. Great work in the build-up by Emmanuel Dennis, and it was a pity that Sissoko, who has been working hard for Watford, and he's not a goal scorer, we know that. He's a hustling and bustling midfielder, and he gets the job done. He puts in a lot of miles, he puts in a lot of effort, but he's just not good in front of goal, you know what I mean? And then the moment of truth came for Watford. Joao Pedro, who started the move, passed the ball over on the right, and Kiko Femenia linked up with one of his teammates. I can't quite remember who it was, but it was Femenia's brilliance, the run to receive the ball, cross it in, and Joao Pedro, the young Brazilian, smashed it into the back of the net with a header. And you have to criticize Jamal Lascelles, who was rather flat-footed during that whole sequence, and he got towered above, and Watford picked up a point. I think it was a well-deserved point, though. Well-deserved point. It was a 6-pointer towards the bottom of the table. And let's jump over to the table really, really quick here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So Newcastle picks up a point. They have 12, and Watford stay above the relegation zone with that 1 point as well, because Norwich did pick up a rare win, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. So look, good game. Not the most high profile game, as I said. You know what I mean? We're going to start with the more low-key ones, but we do have to talk about every single game. We're going to give every team some love during these live streams, man. And that's the hallmark of this live stream. You see what I'm saying? We're not like everybody else. We give every team the attention that they deserve. So if you're a fan of all these clubs, you could come on in and you could join in the discussion. So look here, man. Look here. Just to hit you with some insights from this game before we talk a bit about the table really quick. And Newcastle have dropped 21 points from winning positions, actually. 19 before this game, 21 now from winning positions in the Premier League. At least 3 more than any other side. Watford remain the only side in the English top 4 tiers without a league clean sheet this season. The Hornets have conceded in each of their last 29 Premier League matches since a 3-0 win against Liverpool in February of 2020. I could actually remember that 3-0 win against Liverpool too. Ismail Assar was a beast in that game. Newcastle have scored the first goal in 10 different Premier League games this season, but have only gone on to win one of those, losing 3 and drawing 6, like I did mention earlier. So look, the table, man, the bottom of the table here. Burnley are at the bottom, but they do have 5 games to catch up with. Pardon me. 5 games. Which is unbelievable when you really think about it, man. 5 games, and in the past, when they had those makeup games, they weren't able to actually capitalize on those makeup games, where I think they lost both the makeup matches. So there's no guarantee that Burnley are going to pick up points in those matches. So good on Newcastle to get a point. Good on Watford to get a point to keep fighting. It's not looking good for Burnley. It ain't looking good for Newcastle either. Norwich will be happy with that win, but Watford has to be very careful. And Everton, they're getting dragged into this relegation scrap as well. So that's my thoughts on the game for Newcastle. The next game will be against Leeds United. And judging from the way Leeds played in the last game, they're not a team you want to play right now. But they're very mercurial. As for Watford, they play Burnley this coming Tuesday. I think that's a makeup fixture as well, and that's a 6-pointer. And then they have another 6-pointer against a Norwich City outfit that's going to look to continue to rise from the bottom of the table. So that's me. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Big up to everybody in here, man. Make sure you guys smash up the thumbs up button. We got to talk about Liverpool, Brentford later. We got to talk about Man City's win over Chelsea. We got to talk about those bums over at Manchester United dropping points after being 2-0 up. We got to talk Villa, of course. We going to talk about Arsenal a bit. We're going to talk about Tottenham as well. And, of course, we have to talk about Everton. We got to talk about Everton, and we're going to do it now. Norwich 2, Everton 1. Everton, you let me down, man, because I predicted you to win confidently, man. Confidently. I wrote off Norwich. I was like, yeah, man, this one is easy. Everton, even though they're dealing with the injury problems right now, they should be able to get the better of the Canaries, who has been really poor this season, right? But it's Norwich. But I should have known this, though. Dean Smith came into the game unbeaten against Everton. I should have known this. I really should have known this. While I had my prediction already, but while I was doing the preview, I did come across the stat that Dean Smith was unbeaten against Everton, and I should have said, you know what, Dom, you got to change your prediction. No one will know. Just change your prediction. But I didn't. You know what I mean? I wanted to be all, honest and thing, as I should be, and I didn't change. You know what I'm saying? So in this game, well, I should first start with the fact that Norwich came into this match off of a loss against West Ham. And they made 2 changes coming into the game with Josh Sargent, who was newly a father. His wife gave birth to a baby. I don't know the details. I don't know if it's a baby girl or boy. But congratulations to Josh Sargent, because for some reason, he had a pep in his step on the day. You know what I'm saying? He has been poor all season, but on the day, he was one of the best players for Norwich. Did he win player of the match? No, it was Adam Eder, the Irishman. But Josh Sargent deserves a shout for the work he did on the day. Okay, just want to give him the credit there. So, 6 straight losses, no goals. Norwich coming into the game, having last picked up any points since November, and having last scored since November, where they had a quality November, to be completely real there. So, Mykolenko, the Ukrainian international, debuted. Anwar El Ghazi, a new man coming over from Aston Villa, was on the bench. And that was actually, this right here was actually Rafa Benitez's last 11 for Everton FC, because Rafa got sacked. Let's go to the homepage and let's get into that article before we do talk about this game. Everton part company with manager Benitez. Let's look at this article right now. Rafa. Now, before I talk about the article, before I go into the article here, Rafa Benitez, you deserve everything you got. Everything. Let me just put it that way. You deserve it. You know why you deserve it? You went down. You are a part of Liverpool folklore, right? Miracle in Istanbul and everything. You're part of their folklore. You should have never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, gone to Everton. It don't matter how much they were going to pay you. It don't matter how sweet the deal was. It don't matter if you... it doesn't matter. You should have never took it. You see what I'm saying? It's like if I was leading the blue team. I'm leading the blue team. I'm part of the blue team for years. I'm a legend of the blue team. And I move away from the blue team. And then I go and join the red team that I was against all the time. You know what I'm saying? In my case, it's blue because I'm a City fan. You know, so I'm not going to use red and you know, you get it. But Rafa should have never took the Everton job. And many Everton faithfuls never wanted him, even though he started well. They never wanted him. A spectator even ran onto the field during the match to tell Rafa his mind. You see what I'm saying? He didn't mind that he was going to receive a banner or anything. He just wanted to tell Rafa, get the hell out of the club. You see what I'm saying? So after a great start to the season, Rafa Benitez has been sacked by Everton after a very, very poor run. You're talking about relegation form. One win in the last 13 games. Everton has been the worst team in the league during those 13 games. You deserve to get sacked. Recently, I think someone higher up, a higher up was actually sacked before Rafa, where I think he was probably trying to point the blame to that person. I can't exactly remember his name. And I thought Rafa was going to be fine. I thought he was going to be fine after that, because I did put out a clip that I said Rafa Benitez will be the next manager sacked. And I think he was. I think I made that clip after the whole Solskjaer sacking. And I think this season has been the season where the most managers have been sacked in the Premier League for one season, and we're only halfway through. And I think we've already had about 8 sackings, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a ridiculous season. It's been ridiculous. How many sackings have we seen this season? Let's go to the Premier League table really quick and try to keep a track of the sackings really quick, right? Let's see. So none of those top 5 teams sacked their manager, but Tottenham sacked Nuno. Man United sacked Solskjaer. We go down. Aston Villa sacked Dean Smith. We go down. Now Everton sacked Rafa. Watford sacked Xisco Munoz. Norwich sacked Daniel Farke. And Newcastle sacked, what's his name, man? God, Steve Bruce. That's 7 this season. I said 8, but that's 7. And we could still see a situation where Ranieri could get sacked if Watford don't continue to, pick up points. Could probably see a situation where Eddie Howe gets sacked. You know what I mean? We can't, look. You can't write off these sackings. This has been a ridiculous season, man. The sack race is still going on. But let's go back to the article here on Rafa Benitez. Spaniard leaves Goodison Park after a 7-month spell ended with a defeat to Norwich. Norwich of all teams that have been the beaten stick of the league this season. Everton have announced the departure of manager Rafa Benitez. The Spaniards' exit came after Saturday's 2-1 defeat at Newcastle. Norwich City left Everton in 15th position. Benitez was appointed in the summer of 2021, and the former Liverpool, Chelsea, and Newcastle manager enjoyed a good start at Goodison Park, winning 3 of the Toffees' first 4 matches this season. But the next 15 matches brought just 2 wins and 9 points. Everton are next in the Premier League action on Saturday, the 22nd of January, when they host Aston Villa. So Rafa Benitez taken out of the firing line, and I think it's what's his name? Duncan Ferguson is his name. Am I getting his name right? Yeah, I think I'm getting his name right. Whatever his name is, that Ferguson guy, man, he's gonna be in charge of the team. on an interim basis, I think, until they do hire someone else. Who are they going to bring in? Frank Lampard, maybe? I've seen some ridiculous suggestion that it could be Wayne Rooney. Please don't make that happen. Please don't make it happen, though. Please. So, Everton sacks Rafa Benitez, and we're going to move on from that article for sure. So, look, first goal, let's go back to the Everton-Norwich game. And Michael Keane own goal in the 16th minute. You got to give credit to Josh Sargent. Rashica and Josh Sargent there, I think, were the two players linking up. And Sargent, very ambitious with putting the ball into the box. Looked like a rather innocuous ball into the box. And Michael Keane stuck out a leg and diverted it past Jordan Pickford for the opening goal. Norwich's first goal since November. And 2 minutes later, a brilliant run by Brandon Williams. And that was after a giveaway. First, there was a giveaway. And then Norwich got the ball back, give it back to Everton. Everton give it back to Norwich. And then Brandon Williams with the great run into the path of Adam Ida. I think Adam Ida got lucky with the fact that the Everton defender failed to actually intercept that ball, and he did the rest. He has been rather point from the goal, but it'll do his confidence a world of good to actually get that goal. 2-0. It was 2-0 at halftime. And Norwich with a bright start to the game. They looked very spirited. They were taking the game to Everton. And even though Demari Gray had a couple runs forward and a shot or two, it wasn't enough to beat Tim Krul in goal. So the problem with Norwich this season is that they haven't been scoring enough goals. But they got 2 goals. This is an anomaly we got here. Norwich scored 2 goals. Rafa did, bring on Yeremina and Richarlison there, and Richarlison, did end up scoring the goal, but it wasn't before Mikalenko passed the ball back to that Norwich player. I think that was Adam Ida, and Adam Ida, I think, was, caught off guard with that back pass. I don't know what Mikalenko was actually thinking, and Ben Godfrey, the former Norwich City man, foiled the play. So Richarlison with that spectacular overhead kick goal wasn't enough to actually bring Everton back into the game to at least earn a point. And they lose yet another game. And we know the end result, Rafa Benitez sacked as Everton manager. So 1 win in 13, as I mentioned. And there was a late chance there as well for Rashica where he kissed the post. And Norwich almost had 3. A rare occasion where they actually scored 2 goals. But that's a big 3 points in the grand scheme of things. Because with those 3 points, Norwich moved from the bottom of the table. They go up to 13 points, their 3rd win of the season. And listen, all hope is not lost for Norwich City at all. Hope isn't lost for Norwich City. They could still dream. You know what I'm saying? They really could still dream. You could see pictured there, the young Everton player. He has had a good breakout season, and wasn't good enough on the day to stop the bottom team from beating them. So flick through a couple more pictures here. You know what I mean? Brandon Williams on loan from United, and he has been doing a great job, though. That was a good run. And he better try to get a move away from United because, of course, there could be a situation where he impresses on loan, goes back to United, and ends up on the bench again. You know what I'm saying? So I was actually surprised when they sent him out on loan because he was actually, doing some, a neat little job whenever he had his opportunities. So as you guys could see, Anthony Gordon, his name was kind of eluding me for a second there. He is a Scouser, and he has been one of the best players this season for Everton during this slump. So, Norwich 2, Everton 1. Everton are currently 16th in the league, guys. 16th, while Norwich move up a couple places, and they are currently 18th. Just a whisker from getting out of the relegation zone. Could they do it? It's quite possible. They got some important games coming up. 6-pointer against Watford comes next, and they do have a match against Crystal Palace. So, look, before I do move on to the next game, let me see if I got any insights for you. Norwich have won 2 of their 6 Premier League home games under Dean Smith, drawing 1, losing 3. As many wins as they had managing their final 21 home games in the competition under the previous manager, Daniel Farke, who recently got a job. I think he got a job over in Russia, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember the team right now. Not important. But Everton have won just 19 points from their 19 league games this season. Only twice previously have they had fewer at this stage of the Premier League campaign. 17 in 97-98 and 2005. This was Everton's first away defeat against a team starting the day at the bottom of the Premier League table since May 2004, when they lost 2-1 to Wolves, having been unbeaten in 17 such games coming into the day. 9 wins and 8 draws. So horrible stuff by Everton. Their next game will be against Newcastle. That's another big game. That's a potential 6-pointer in the grand scheme of things. And then another 6-pointer against Leeds United, Southampton. Teams all around them, you know, they'll be meeting next. And that'll be a nice little window for them to pull things back before they meet Man City, Tottenham, a high-flying Wolverhampton Wanderers. So that's my thoughts on that game. Let me know yours in the chat. Big up to everybody, man. How are you guys feeling? I am supposed to have a guest coming on today to talk Man City, Chelsea. So definitely stay tuned for that. Big up to the boy Dupe, Errol Brown, Palomo. Who else we got in here? Mobility Troop in the house. Who else we got? Meteor in the house as well. It just went downhill so quickly. He deserved the sack for real. Aaron Guy in the house. How are you doing, Aaron Guy? Big up to the boy AD Elias as well in the house. Chelsea Perspective. I should have shouted you out earlier. I don't know if you're still in here, but I'm sorry. I saw the thing, but I didn't say nothing because I was deep in concentration. Big up to Ricky Sinker. Joel Linton, 7 goals in 87 games. I know. He's a midfielder now. It's excusable. He's a midfielder now. So guys, smash up the thumbs up button. We need 5 more to get to 50. We'll definitely appreciate that if we do get to 50 very, very soon. Listen, I need to blow my nose, man. I must step out and blow my nose. I'll be right back in a second. I don't know why my nose is running, though. I don't know why. You know, but it's uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. I hope I'm not coming down with the vid, you know. I just hope not coming down with the vid, man. I hope I don't have anything on my face. In my face, everything good? Everything good, right? Okay, everything good. Everything good, and we're ready to move. We're ready to keep it moving, man. I feel much better, though. That's a relief. That's a relief. I think it's just because I've been, up all day. You see what I'm saying? I've been up all day, man, since 5, Let's say 5. Let's round it off to 5. I've been busy, man. It's hard work over here. Hard work in these streets. So we're going to keep it moving. We got a lot of games to talk about. Not a lot. We got 2 postponed games. So we're going to keep it moving. And what other low-profile games we got? We talked Brighton Crystal Palace. We talked Newcastle Watford. We talked Norwich Everton, where Rafa Benitez got his ass sacked. And we could talk a bit about, let's talk Wolves Southampton, and let's talk about how good Wolverhampton Wanderers have been this season. It's a surprise that they did score 3 goals. because it was a sequence of ones and zeros, what do you call that? Binary? So computer language. Wolves speaking in computer language. You know what I'm saying? But they managed to pick up a 3-1 win over a very spirited Southampton. And I think it's a well-deserved victory, man. Wolves are just showing that what they did against, United there is no fluke. And they're just going to continue to fight and compete for one of those top 6 spots. I'm not going to go as far as to say top 4, but you never know. They're 8th right now. You see what I'm saying? And they're not doing too badly. They're not doing too badly at all. I always say use United as a benchmark. They're 1 point behind United, which means they're not doing too badly at all. You know what I'm saying? Of course, United are the most successful club in the Premier League era. You got to give it to them, right? Most successful club overall in English football. You got to give it to them, right? So use them as a benchmark. If you're just behind United and you recently beat them, you're doing well for yourselves, man. You're doing well for yourselves. But before we get into the game, let's talk Wolves. 3-1 against Southampton. 3-0 in the FA Cup against Sheffield. 1-0 against Man United. 0-0 against Chelsea. 1-0 against Brighton. They did lose to City and Liverpool. That's a blip. But the 0-0 against Norwich. 0-0 against Burnley. 1-0 against West Ham. Right? They have been on a mad run. They did lose to Palace, but they beat Everton. Look, Wolves, you got to give it to them. Oh! God damn, Wolves. You're doing the goddamn business this season. Big up to the boy Jose Sa as well, who has 8 clean sheets this season. And as I keep saying, Jose Sa is proven to be a lot better than Rui Patricio. I think Rui Patricio is definitely overrated if you ask me, man. So, look, just to talk lineups in this game, Totti Gomez, a youngster who was brought from Estoril. I didn't actually know this, but I listened, so I found that out. And Wolves have just signed another player from Estoril as well. I think his name is Chiquinho, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get that straight for you. And let me see, latest signing. Yeah, they did bring in a player by the name of Chiquinho from, it's not made official yet, but that one has been in the news from Estoril as well. I think that's a Portuguese club. And they're just looking to bolster their team with these players that we never heard of. But Totti Gomez coming back from loan, a loan stint at Grasshoppers. They seem to have this relationship with Grasshoppers. There might be something deeper that I don't know, because they brought in another player and sent him to Grasshoppers. I think I'm seeing a couple players like Oscar Burr. You know what I mean? They returned from Oscar Burr is on loan there. Totti Gomez was there, and a player they just brought in from Grasshoppers to Hayo Kawabe, Japanese player. So maybe they do have a relationship with Grasshoppers. But Totti Gomez started. Ruben Neves out with the coronavirus. And for Southampton, they were unchanged from the win in the middle of the week versus Brentford, who, of course, lost back-to-back games there. So in the first 30 minutes, very open game of football. Chances at both ends for both teams, with Wolves looking the brighter of the two teams. And the goal did come in the 37th minute. It was a VAR review, and a penalty was given. Raul Jimenez stepped up and dispatched brilliantly to open the scoring for Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think that was their first penalty given this season, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but I think I overheard the commentator said that. But 4th goal of the season for Raul Jimenez. And that's not bad after suffering that nasty head injury last season. 2nd goal scored in the second half there. Connor Cody, very, very lucky goal after Norwich shot was actually headed onto his cross was headed onto the post by Kilman. And Mr. Cody was there to actually put it into the back of the net. VAR did check it, but it was deemed okay. Wolves with the 2-0 lead. The game labored on, both teams scrapping it out. And then a moment of magic came in the 84th minute when James Ward-Prowse scored yet another direct free kick from way out. It was so far out that the commentators didn't believe that he was actually going to try to hit it directly onto in the goal. And he did it, man. That was brilliant. And at that moment, I knew this already, but at that moment, it further, dawned on me that James Ward-Prowse has to be the best free kick taker in the league and one of the best free kick takers in the world. There's Lionel Messi out there. He scores them, from that majestic left foot. But this guy, James Ward-Prowse, man, the amount of free kick goals that he scores is absolutely ridiculous. Adama Traore did come off the bench, and even with the late scare there, where Southampton had got back into the game, where Perot had actually struck the woodwork, I should say. And Fabio Silva did have an opportunity that Adama Traore failed to pounce on. Traore did get his reward to pick up his first goal this season. Ryan Ait-Nouri with the assist. And Ait-Nouri has been a quality player for Wolverhampton Wanderers, I have to say. And if any team out there is actually looking for a quality left back, Ait-Nouri won't be a bad choice at all. Won't be a bad choice. You know what I'm saying? Right, my boy Norando? Right? Talk to me. How are you?
When you said any team looking for a quality left back, I'm like, yeah, that's me.
You're looking for a left back too, right? And I'm looking for I need a left back. I've needed a left back for a very, very long time.
Well, if you're looking for a left back, it must be for cover. But I think you've done well enough with what you have.
We need a designated left back though.
Because Zinchenko is a midfielder. He's played there. You had Mendy, not the best in my opinion.
Not the best choices either.
yeah. Well, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, so, but did you see the Mendy tape though? Did you see the tape?
No, I didn't see any tape.
You didn't see the tape, man. You know what I mean? If you see the tape, you know that Mendy's out there videotaping himself, and you know what I'm saying. So let's just leave it. Let's leave it that right there.
But yeah, definitely. I'd take a left back and a right back right now. Like yesterday, it's 16 days into the transfer window, and I don't see any intention. Well, having watched Luca Digne yesterday, I felt heartbroken.
Yeah.
So again, back to square one. I'm like, okay, it's gonna happen every transfer window where we don't get the first choice, we don't get the second choice, and then the last minute we just grab onto someone. So,
you think that Luca Digne thought that if he went to Chelsea when Chilwell becomes fit again, he would have like dropped back to, you know what I'm saying?
But I don't think, the thing is, Chelsea wanted Luca Digne on a loan, right, with an option to make it permanent. Everton, they only wanted a permanent deal. You get what I'm saying?
Of course, because of the situation.
Right, so that they made it very complicated, and because Chelsea already invested 50 million into Ben Chilwell last season, they, I guess, for a short-term fix, they didn't want to bring in someone else, high wages, high investment, and then come the summer, Ben Chilwell fit again, and you get what I'm saying? So, but definitely, I think if we were genuinely challenging, I think if we were closer to Manchester City, or if the race was a little bit tighter, they would have gone out and get it. But again, I think this season, Chelsea, having seen what's happening so far, they have already thrown in the towel.
You better throw in the towel. You better. After that performance there, man,
don't even mention it.
that was too easy, man. But look, guys, before we go further, this is Norando Brown from Halftime TV. I was interacting with Norando on Twitter today, and I said, man, I haven't talked to Norando in a while. He was on the channel previously. So I said, Norando, could you come on and let's talk? You know what I mean? And you oblige, and I do appreciate that, man. You
Anytime.
know,
Anytime. It's
it's
been a minute really.
yeah.
I've uploaded any content, even on my channel. I've been super busy. Some family issues popped up. Had to
Oh,
jump out to Jamaica for a few weeks. Came back and still trying to get back in the routine. But again,
yeah.
in due time. In due time.
Understandable, man. Understandable. You know what I mean? Don't be like me and put content first. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
Because look, man, it doesn't matter. Like, I've got up early today and I'm still managing to do this. I was thinking about pushing it back tomorrow, but you push it back tomorrow and then the hype dies down and there's something new that's coming up in the week. And
True.
then I've been talking about the AFCON again, and I don't want that one to actually start
AFCON.
piling up. Yeah, the AFCON has been crazy, though. You know what I
Crazy.
mean?
Yeah. Put
Crazy,
mildly.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
putting it nicely.
crazy.
That's putting
But
it nicely.
just going back to the whole Wolves Southampton match there, and just to finish that one off, though. How good have Wolves been this season, man?
I think we they've gone unnoticed for the most part, considering Nuno left and he was there for so long, and what he had done with Wolves. He basically put them into the mid-table team. He got them up from the championship, and then they established themselves as a mid-table team. And I think we got comfortable with Wolves. We're like, okay, it's Wolves. We expect them to be in the mid-table position. But if we are to assess it thoroughly, we realize that many of these mid-table clubs who change managers, they actually struggle. You get what I'm saying? The likes of Everton, most of the mid-table clubs, whenever they change managers, especially
Villa, you know what I mean, to a
yeah,
lesser
Villa,
extent.
yeah, they're
Well,
Villa, they're bouncing back a little bit now, but
well, they changed managers because they were struggling, basically.
exactly. And Wolves changed managers before the season started, and it was short notice too, because if you remember correctly, it was basically last minute because Nuno wasn't the first choice for Tottenham. He was basically not
Yeah.
even a choice.
Yep.
But Bruno Lage came in and he has done a fantastic job so far. Initially, they were struggling to get on the score sheet. You mentioned an interesting stat earlier that they hadn't scored a penalty, Austin, they hadn't gotten a penalty,
Yeah.
and that's in fact true. They were a little bit, not a little, a whole lot indecisive in the final third. Adama Traore wasn't producing. He only scored his first goal of the season at the weekend. First goal, no assist this season. That was the first one. So again, a player of his quality, it begs the question: what's not happening? What's going wrong? Trincao as well. He has the most nutmegs in the league this season, and he added to that tally on the weekend as well. Nice flair player to have, but again, final decision not there, and that's why Wolves have struggled. Raul Jimenez came back from that head injury. You spoke about not the same Raul Jimenez that went out. I think certain challenges that we would see him going into, certain duels that he would be up for, he has like taken a step back a little. And again, it will come with time. It's currently in his subconscious, certain things he doesn't want to do because he got injured before in this situation. So again, I think they started off a little bit slowly. They were keeping the clean sheets, but they couldn't transition those draws into wins. They've had so many draws that Jose Sa, quality goalkeeper, I think he has the highest save percentage in the league at 83 or 84%, I think. So fantastic goalkeeper. That alone in and of itself says
like I said, the man, I've been saying it, he is better than Patricio.
he is.
Patricio is very overrated, though.
I won't say Patricio is overrated because the rating that he has gotten, he's deserved it because he's been around for so long. Because if you remember, Rui Patricio is well into his 30s, and he has been to a number of World Cups with Portugal.
Yeah,
He's
true.
been playing club football for quite some time. So,
but what if Portugal had taken someone else? Just think. You have to look at things.
I understand, but again,
that is why I say he's overrated.
I can't say he's over because if we were to say, all right, where would you rank Rui Patricio when he was in the Premier League in the goalkeepers. He wasn't top 10 goalkeepers.
But the thing is, the reason why I'm saying that is
Yeah.
because if you haven't noticed, though, Rui Patricio wasn't the first choice goalkeeper for Portugal lately. You know, it was Lopez of Leon, Anthony Lopez.
As I said, Rui Patricio is past his best now, so
Yeah.
we can't. Rui Patricio, I think he's been to 3 World Cups, so
Yeah.
we can't say okay he's over it. The guy's 34, 35, somewhere there. He's mid-30s, so we have to understand that.
But
Okay,
it's goalkeepers. The goalkeepers, that's the age where they're in the prime, basically, when you think about it.
that's what some may say. That's what some may say. But if we're being realistic, what club is going to cash out 35 million pounds for a goalkeeper in his mid-30s, regardless of whatever? You get what I'm saying? So
Chelsea.
35 million pounds, no.
Oh my God! You got listen. I won't put it past Chelsea to do something like that, though.
I don't think. When it comes to goalkeepers, I think Chelsea over the years we made good decisions with goalkeepers.
I'm just messing with you, man.
But Rui Patricio, he was a quality goalkeeper at Wolves. When he left, I was concerned about who was going to replace him, especially considering the circumstances at Wolves. Because remember, Wolves is a team where the agent is basically bringing in the players.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not where, I'm going there because there's a manager there, or I'm going there because Wolves is a big club. The connection that the agent has, I think it's Jorge Mendes
they have built a Portuguese culture at the club, and they're sticking to that, and it has been working. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So that's what I said. So when these players come in, especially when someone's leaving, it's the same. When João Moutinho leaves, I'm going to be looking to see who is going to come in, and Rui Patricio was that sort of figure in the Wolves changing room, because both of them are senior players in Portugal squad. Both of them in the Wolves team, they're the leaders there. So again, as I said, Jose Sa, I've had him in my fantasy team since week 4, I think, and he has remained there throughout. He's still in there. I haven't been disappointed as yet. He's been getting me those points in Fantasy Premier League. So I rate him highly, and I think he's up there with the top goalkeepers in the league right now.
Good stuff. Yeah, definitely is. I've been rating Jose Sa all season, though. And another thing we gotta commend Leeds for. We're gonna move on. We're gonna talk Chelsea City soon, but it's gonna get spicy soon. Okay, just have some patience, people. But Wolves and their defense, though. Kilman has been their breakout player this season. Cody, ever faithful. And Saiss, we know he's gone to the AFCON. But that kid, Totti Gomez, stepped in and did the job. You know, I think they were struggling with some injuries, Marçal, some inconsistent performances from guys like Semedo, you know what I mean? But these guys have definitely stepped up.
I think Willy Bowley needs to look a new club now, because they totally displaced him.
Exactly. He's at the AFCON right now too, so
need to find a new club.
Definitely. Look around the league, see where defense. Maybe he go to Brighton, Burnley. I mean, Burnley won't be a bad team for him to go to.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. Well, who else is gonna get him? The project that Newcastle is building, it doesn't fit that profile. So Burnley is the most likely.
So Wolves are looking really good. They heading upwards in the table for that Europa League spot, looking towards that Conference League spot as well. And we have to touch on Southampton, because they look like they were definitely struggling. They looked like they were going to get brought into that relegation scrap. But credit to Hasenhüttl and a team that's transitioning right now. A lot of new players. Your boy Amanda Broja is there. You know what I mean? And they've just really put out some quality performances. And I think they could have pulled it back and scrape a point. But I think Wolves deserve the win on the day. But Southampton, you know, when we thought that, this is the season, Southampton are going down, they sell too many other players, Southampton's going to be fine. And they recently got taken over as well, so they're going to be fine, man.
I think Southampton, they have a fabulous scouting system, and it has served them well throughout the years. They generally look for talent where no one else is looking. They generally take the rejects, and they make good of these individuals. My problem with Southampton, regardless of the changes that they usually have, is the inconsistencies. I know they're losing their best players and all of that, but I don't know what to expect from Southampton on the day. I'll go out there.
Mercurial is the right word. You just don't know. You
Yeah,
just don't
yeah.
know what to expect.
I'm going out and I'm like, okay, Southampton has been fantastic the last two games. Might not get the result, but they've been great. They're playing the ball well, and then they go out and they pick up 6. And then the next game, they bounce back and they win 2-0 against all odds. And then the next game after that, they lose maybe 1-0 to like a new.
Exactly.
It's a roller coaster with them, and I admire you if you're a Southampton fan on here. It requires a lot of grit and guts that I don't think I possess.
When you really look at Southampton and you think of, they always sell their best players, you know what I mean? Look at how good Ward-Prowse is. And you see a team like, big up to Rich Sports in the house, Chelsea perspective. You see a team like Man United. Why have United never went in for a player like that? And you think Moneyball type signing, right? Because he's so effective on the dead balls, right? His passing range, his deliveries from a corner, everything. You have a man like him in the midfield as well. He does work hard, but I don't know if they're gonna go with a Bruno and a Ward-Prowse. Just think about it like that, right? They tend to go with a more hard working type midfield. But if you look at the
not to cut you, but I think with Manchester United, they tend to go for players where there's hype.
High profile, kind of, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like,
especially
why?
the English players that they buy, there has to be hype around them. So if you're not being hyped week in, week out, Manchester United won't come out for you. You get what I'm saying? And this is all down to the media. Because now, Declan Rice, every week, even if he has an average performance, Declan Rice, everyone's talking about Declan Rice. But Declan Rice is doing no James Ward-Prowse has been doing consistently season in, season out. I don't think he's missed any games. He's been playing for so long, so consistently. I think the only time he's missed games is probably when he's received
suspended.
a card. Exactly. So why haven't they gotten James Ward-Prowse in? And it's the same thing with the Euros squad the other day when I was going through the England roster, and I'm like, why isn't James Ward-Prowse in here? Exactly, you get what I'm saying? They brought him in for one of the practice games, I think, one game before the tournament started, and then ultimately they didn't take him to the tournament. And I'm like, this is...
But that's the thing. You have a player like him in your team. You have a situation where you desperately need a goal and you're winning free kicks, and you have a player that could put it in the back of the net. You know what I'm saying? So it's I'm dumbfounded to the fact that he never really moved. Aston Villa was actually going in for him, and that would have been a good move if he had gone to Villa. But I guess with Southampton, you need a captain to steer the ship and to help them stay up. And
True.
It's hard luck to them on the day that they didn't win. But Wolves have been putting out some quality performance. Only Liverpool and City have beaten them recently. They've pushed aside everybody. You know what I mean? United, Chelsea couldn't beat them, and they just been quality. They've been quality all season, even when they lost. So
True.
well played to Wolves.
That Liverpool game that they lost as well, that game bothers me because they made a substitution. I think they took out Ait-Nouri and they brought on a former Liverpool player.
Ait-Nouri was handling. Remember, Ait-Nouri was handling Salah. And then he got injured. He had to be taken out. Right.
So they put on a former Liverpool player in the last minute of that game. And he came in, he received the ball, he dribbled all the way forward over to the opposition half, and then he fell over. I think Thiago put a challenge in on him, and he didn't even try and keep the ball. He fell over. And Thiago played it to Van Dijk. Van Dijk played it to Salah, and that ended up being a goal. And I'm like, there's 1 minute left in the game for you to get a draw out of this.
That's the kid, Hoover, man. Yeah,
Keanu Hoover. He was a part of that Jota deal. And I was so upset with that. And I'm like, I watched it maybe 10 to 15 times. I watched it over because I'm like, what are you doing? And I know the manager must be furious with him. I was happy Aiden came. I'm like, okay, Liverpool literally planted a double agent in this Wolves team.
So look, Naranda, man. We're gonna talk about the elephant in the room, bro. City won, Chelsea 0 for the second time this season after you guys really did get the better of us at the back end of last season, including knocking us out the FA Cup and taking my beloved, the trophy that we should have won after a great Champions League
should have,
season.
could have.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You know what I mean? And now I'm dwelling in shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You know what I mean? We should have really. But no, to be honest, Norando, City was so good that, last Champions League season. They deserved the trophy, man. But Pep just went and I don't know what he think. I don't know what goes on in his head. I'm still mad at him. But you could see that Pep knows he effed up last season. He knows it.
Yeah.
So this season, he ain't playing. The man's playing absolutely no games. None. And I love this Pep Guardiola. This is the Pep Guardiola that I actually love.
Yeah.
When he's ruthless and when he's not, tinkering too much, he means business, man.
Yeah.
He means business. So look, City won, Chelsea 0, and it had to be a former Chelsea man to actually score the goal. Kevin De Bruyne just loves playing against the team that basically, rejected him. You know what I'm saying? And good. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the loss and the performance?
I think I'm more disappointed with the performance rather than the loss. I think on the day, like even when De Bruyne scored, I couldn't even be mad at anybody. I was just sitting there. I'm like, okay, like class player shows up in the moment, wins it for his team. But overall, I think Christian Pulisic, there was just too many players in the Chelsea team that didn't show up on the day. Lukaku, I think he challenged for 5 aerial duels. He didn't win any of them. He's the same height as Laporte. He's taller than John Stones. He didn't win any of these duels. Christian Pulisic didn't challenge for any of the duels. Hakim Ziyech challenged for 3, lost all 3. So I think they just didn't show up. The players that came out, they didn't show up. I think
it was too easy.
Yeah, they made it easy for City. They made it far too easy for City. And City is a team that likes to have the football. Christian Pulisic, he has been awful for the last 3 or 4 games, in my opinion. Folks will say, oh, but he scored in one of those games. I don't care. Playing 85 minutes awful and scoring a goal doesn't change my opinion of how you played for the game and your output. I was watching Pulisic for the first half, nothing whatsoever. He wasn't closing down. He wasn't giving anything. When he got the ball, I think for the first 35 minutes, he maybe touched the ball twice. Didn't see him, so he didn't show up. I think Mason Mount would have been ideal for this game. He's the type of person who, without the ball, he gives you that hustle, always running, always putting pressure on your position. And even Thomas Tuchel was furious on the sideline. He was asking them to go forward, to step forward, to get the line up. And again, Marcos Alonso, I can't expect much of him because I can't expect of you what you're not capable of. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So if you're a cricketer, if you're a batsman, I can't expect you to go out there and be a wicket keeper. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, unless you're versatile.
Exactly.
But do you talk about Pulisic? I do think Pulisic is, bro, unless he plays well for the US team, right? But when
was the last time we saw him for the US team?
But in general, Pulisic is just too soft, man. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like
why? Like, how could you be so soft, man?
So slight. And
listen, you're a man. Why are you so soft?
True.
You see what I'm saying? He's so mild-mannered. You hear by the way he talks and, bro, man up. You see what I'm saying? When you look at Foden playing for City, you see how Foden means business. You see what I'm saying?
Foden had a stinker too, but the mere fact that City won on the day, you probably didn't notice, but Foden had a stinker. Jack Grealish had a stinker. A number of your players had a stinker. But again, as I said,
But you see, the thing is, you know what I mean? It's a more collective performance with City, you know what I
True,
mean? The
true.
performance is such a collective that you forget about those
True,
performances, you know what I mean?
and again, that it goes back to the team and the team in sync because Manchester City is a team that's properly drilled together. You know your best 11, and even without your best 11, with the last two or so transfer windows, you haven't gotten in anybody. So these players have been playing with each other for the longest while. So even if X comes out and Y goes in, it's the same output you're getting.
Yep.
And I think that's a thing with Chelsea now. We're still struggling to find out who plays better with who. I think we made so many changes in the front three this season. We still haven't figured out Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's a headache. You said you wanted him at City. I think he's
Look,
a cow.
you know why? You know why I won't mind these guys because they're not polished off yet.
True,
And
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's my problem with him.
If Pep get a hold of some of these guys, just think
Yeah.
about how good they could be. If Pep get a hold of some of these guys, you know what I'm saying? Pep's working on Grealish, you know. Let me make an announcement right now. Pep is working on Grealish because Grealish was still actually very raw when you really look at it. When he's playing for Aston Villa, he gets a lot of time on the ball. He could do what he wants.
You don't pay 100 million. That's and I go back to the media again.
Grealish is not worth 100 million. Grealish,
exactly.
You had to pay 100 million to get him, but he is not worth 100 million. It's just like Chris Wood ain't worth the money that Newcastle paid for him. But if you want him, you have to pay his release clause.
True, but Grealish and Chris Wood, the situations are far different.
No, but it's just the point I'm trying to make in terms of paying for the player. You know what I mean?
But again, that's what I'm saying. If you're buying a player that's not polished, remember, for example, when Dortmund bought Erling Haaland, for example, or even Jude Bellingham, these guys, Jadon Sancho, when they bought him from Manchester City, they bought rough gems. You get what I'm saying? They got rough gems and then they polish them and then they sell them for the big fees. You get what I'm saying? But because of the English media and their hype around these players that are theirs, quote unquote, that's why Manchester City ended up paying $100 million for Jack Grealish, regardless of release clause.
Well, 100 million pounds.
100 million pounds, sorry.
130 something million dollars.
Million US.
Yeah.
So again, I think these sort of situations, they change the games of these players because you go in now, regardless of what you want to say or want to think, you know, that is dwelling on you, you know, 100 million pounds. Whenever you go out there, you know that, okay, 100 million pounds, I'm expected to do something. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's something that Grealish could tell the ladies, you know, look at how much they pay for me too, you know.
Only the ladies because Manchester City fans currently they aren't getting it.
Yeah, he gotta be focused though. He gotta definitely be focused. And I got to realize that Grealish, who had a very good chance in the game to open the scoring in the 48th minute there, he should have scored that. If it was a Villa player, he would have lifted that. That would have been a goal, right? But the thing is, he's not worth 100 mil. You could check his market value. He's not worth 100 mil. It's his release clause. So people could just stop expecting Grealish to just go to City and be a world beater. Because he
100 million performance.
Yeah, it's not that. For Lukaku, on the other hand, it's a different situation.
Yeah, I think Lukaku is different because based on what Lukaku gave at Inter Milan those 2 seasons, it could be argued that he is actually worth that amount. He's in his peak. He was one of the best strikers in the world last year when in his last season at Inter Milan, and it's not even arguable. The facts are there. It was Lukaku, Erling Haaland, Lewandowski. Those were the names out there. You get what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. But back to the Chelsea Manchester City game.
So we talk about, you talk about your frustration with certain players in the team not really giving their all. Pulisic, Ziyech, not, these guys not really giving their all towards the effort. You know what I'm saying? You talk about Tuchel changing up his team. Tuchel is a manager that has changed his team the most this season in the league, right? And the performance, Norando, I'm telling you, the only time I really got a bit nervous is when, you guys caught us on the break a couple times, and I was like, oh, God, here we go again. You know what I'm saying? And there was an occasion where Lukaku could have scored, and he couldn't beat Ederson. That was you guys' best moment of the game. I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? That was a moment, and that's the moment you got to step up and take the few chances when you play against City. You have to take those chances, But apart from that, man, it was literally a walk in the park.
Yeah, but
it was literally a walk in the park. No, I'm telling you, it was easy.
I think it's a game of two halves, if I'm to be honest. When it comes to your statement being a walk in the park, I think in the first half it was embarrassing.
But of course, in the second half, after you conceded the goal, then
even before we conceded the goal, because if you remember that Lukaku chance, it came right after the second.
You had moments. You had moments. You definitely had moments.
And moments come with desire. So if you show the desire to put yourself in the position to get those moments and to create those moments for yourself, that's how moments come about. Because if you're playing negative and you're deep and you're not showing any desire, then your moments won't come. You get what I'm saying? So in the second half, I think Chelsea actually came out better. When the first 10 minutes of the second half, we were showing some desire. We looked as if we wanted to play football. Right?
That's true. Kovacic was coming more into the game. You see Kante. Kante, I think, was very ineffective in the game. I was expecting Kante, when he won the ball back on a few occasions, to spread the ball. You understand?
No one's there. I can't criticize N'Golo Kante because, again, we're without our wing backs. We use the wing backs a whole lot in how we play football, right? Cesar Azpilicueta, he went forward on a number of occasions, but again, he was late coming forward because he is a defensive player. So he's not going to have the same instinct as a Reece James or a Ben Chilwell. When N'Golo Kante gets the ball generally and he looks left, Ben Chilwell is there. When he looks right, Reece James is usually exactly. So
basically, you're saying you guys were short-handed in the game.
No, I'm not making any excuses.
No excuses. No, it's not excuses.
But again, because
you guys were short-handed.
Right, we play with the wing backs, and the wing backs that we played on the day, they weren't up for it because one, what's his name? Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta to begin with, he was staying back, and Marcos Alonso had his hands so full with Raheem Sterling that whenever the opportunity presented itself for him to go forward, I guess he was still keeping an eye on Raheem Sterling. So I can't bash N'Golo Kante because I think he has to have options, and whenever he gets the ball, there weren't options there. So it is that.
There's so much to talk about, but
there is.
There's so much to talk about. Another thing I have to talk about: why bronze Ballon d'Or recipient didn't play? Bronze Jorginho. Why?
I'm actually happy he didn't play.
Yeah, but still.
Again. There is no set team for every game. Right? There's no set team for every game.
That's the thing. If he is that good, he should play. You understand?
Who said he was that good?
The Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans.
I have and I continue to say Jorginho is not as good as people think he is.
Penalty merchant. Jorginho.
Penalty merchant. I can agree with that. You and I can agree that much, but I don't think Jorginho is as good as they make him out to be. I personally, I don't rate him that highly. I think he's okay as a midfielder.
He's not bad. He's not bad. Because Pep wanted him, Pep wanted him.
True. Pep Guardiola wanted him, but that doesn't mean much. Pep Guardiola wanted you, so what?
I'm glad we didn't get him because he doesn't work. He doesn't work as hard, man.
Bro,
he really doesn't work.
Jorginho is a headache for me because, and even last season when we didn't have Lukaku, we didn't have that focal point or nothing. So we had players running down the flank constantly. We had some players trying to go through the middle to create that little bit of room so the ball could come in over the top. Jorginho constantly plays it sideways, and then he says, "Oh, you're supposed to go there. You're supposed to go there." He does it every single game. And the thing with passing the ball sideways or square, as some may call it, when you lose that ball, when someone intercepts that ball, you can't recover, especially Jorginho, because he's the speed of a roller.
Yeah.
If he is passing it sideways and someone wins that ball, that person is straight in on goal. Also, what he does that irritates me so much, whenever he gets the ball, he tries to buy a foul. Always trying to buy cheap fouls, especially when he's in our final third. So whenever the goalkeeper passes it out to him, I think someone scored a goal on us recently because of that.
Yep.
Yeah. And he did it in the Liverpool game as well, where I think Fabinho picked it off him in the middle later on to the end of that game, where easy ball, they passed it out to him, controlled it. He looked over his shoulder, saw that someone was coming, and he's trying to buy a foul. In the box again, always controlling the ball and trying to beg fouls in the penalty box. He did it 2 times in the Liverpool game. Why not just control the ball and pass it out? Always trying to buy a foul because he doesn't want to put the challenge up, and that's what irritates me. Right?
So if you had an opportunity to sell Jorginho this summer, he's a goner.
Easy. Right now, I'd give Jorginho away for free. And I have messages in my phone talking to my friends about it, because what folks don't understand, because they always, it's whatnot. Whenever Chelsea isn't in possession of the football, Jorginho struggles, and it struggles significantly. And that's why I think he wasn't needed for this game against Manchester. Probably if he had played against Manchester City, would have got maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah,
right?
Or six like you got the other day, yeah.
Even so, because Kante is better out of possession than him. Kovacic is better than him out of possession. Both these guys are athletes, and they're also good with the ball at their feet. They may not be able to control the tempo as well as he does, and him controlling the tempo isn't anything that I see him doing that Kovacic can't do, because Kovacic breaks the line far better than he does. Kovacic takes the ball in tight spaces and beat 2-3 persons. He's brave enough. He's also brave enough to try that ball through to the final third. We noticed in the second half in that game against Manchester City, Kovacic was the one who passed in Lukaku, that forced a save from Ederson.
I think Kovacic had a good game despite the couple blemishes he had throughout the match.
We're going to have those. We're going.
But he had a good game, though.
Good player. He's a top quality player, and I think
he had a good game.
The fact that Jorginho constantly gets in over Kovacic is what irritates the life out of me. I think Jorginho should come in when Chelsea is leading 2-0 up or maybe 3-0 up, and we want to manage the game in the final 15 or 20 minutes. So we'll bring him on basically to suck the life out of the opponents. That's it.
So just to get some semblance on the review there, Alonso early yellow foul on Sterling. We talked about Sterling, had him, you know what I mean? It was a tough battle there for Alonso.
Yep.
And you guys could have scored an early goal. The 10th minute when Laporte slipped and Lukaku got in behind, and you guys didn't pounce. I think Lukaku hesitated, and then the run that Ziyech made wasn't the right run.
Made the wrong pass.
So that was a big moment in the match there, where as a City fan, I could count the goals that we can see. I remember them because it's all the same. It's every time it's the same. You catch City you win the ball back, catch City on the break, have City running back. And that's how you beat City. And if you're not precise and you're not, making decisions at lightning speed, you're gonna be ineffective.
True.
You know what I mean?
So
Malang Sarr, I did put an asterisk next to his name. I don't think he started the game very well, but he grew into the match and he made some big interceptions, some big, he had a good game in my opinion. And I think for him, Chelsea fans would scrutinize him a lot. He's a young player. He's not the most high-profile player. And when he was signed, they were probably going to be like, where the hell are you going with this kid? But I think he really put out a good performance. But he might always be one of those players that's going to take always they're going to be the scapegoat. You see what I'm saying?
I think with Sarr, because he came in, I think last season from Nice, was it?
Nice. He went out on
And
loan. He went out on loan to Porto, remember?
yeah, he came in the season before as a free transfer because he
Yeah.
ran down his contract with Nice, and then Chelsea took him. Kind of similar to how we got that guy from Barcelona as well. But he's an okay player in my opinion. He again, because it's a big game, and remember it's his first season in the English Premier. I think it was his first start or his second start in the EPL
Yeah.
as well. For the first part of the game, because this is a big game. This is a title decider, some may say. He was a little bit fidgety. I think in the latter part of the game, what he did to improve his game was he went over to help out Alonso. So Alonso wasn't isolated with Raheem Sterling as much, because had it been the same throughout the game, I think Alonso probably would have gotten a red card or probably given away a penalty or something, because that's how much Raheem Sterling was all over him. As soon as Malang started coming over and pushing Alonso back, like you basically tell him, okay, I've got this, because he's extremely quick, he's extremely physical as well. And his decision making, especially when he's tackling, is usually okay. I won't say it's a 10 out of 10, but it's okay because he's an out and out defender. Marcos Alonso, on the other hand, is not an out and out defender. He's a transform defender.
Marcos Alonso was on his way out, remember that.
He's always on his way out.
Yeah, miraculously, he's still at Chelsea, though.
He's always on his way out.
Look,
but for those who don't know Marcos Alonso from the get-go, he's not an out-and-out defender. And that's why I don't pressure him too much. He is originally a left winger. He's a midfielder, right? So we went to Fiorentina. They converted him into a left back. Chelsea was looking for a left back a few seasons ago. As always, we missed out on the first choice, we missed out on the second choice. We ended up with Marcos Alonso, and he ended up doing a job for us, and he's been with us ever since. I think 121 appearances, 22 or 23 goals. So he high scoring defender in the league. And the reason is he's not a defender.
Facts. So dominant first 25 minutes for City, I think, despite that opening, looking there by Lukaku. Kovacic picked up an early yellow card, foul on Bernardo. Grealish with that chance. We talked about that. He had to score that. I don't know. For the life of me, I don't understand why these players don't lift. You know what I mean? Just look at the goal that Harrison scored in his hat-trick. He lifted that ball, over Fabianski, because he had the presence of mind. He knew what he wanted to do. Pam, chip, that's it, goal. A lot of players, even in the AFCON, I saw that. I'm like, just lift the ball, man. I think it was the Algeria game there. Lift the ball. What are you doing? Just you're trying to side foot the ball past the keeper. Lift the ball up. It's harder for him to save the ball. It's coming through the air. You see what I mean? The keepers could always stretch out a leg, put out a midriff, and I don't understand. Grealish, he should have scored, and that could have been the moment, you score against Chelsea, that, the fans, start having more confidence in you, because to be honest, people don't really, have any confidence. I actually did not want Grealish. When I saw Grealish in the lineup, I'm like, damn, I'm saying, like, Pep, what are you doing, man? This is not the right game for Grealish. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the game at all.
I think Rudiger had him. He was. How do I put this? I think he's scared of Rudiger. If I'm to be honest.
Rudiger is quite rough, though. You know what I'm saying? I'll be scared of Rudiger too.
But Rudiger went across maybe twice or three times, and as soon as he went over, I think Grealish wasn't. He was trying to make up his mind. I think probably that played a role in the chance he got to. He didn't realize he had as much time as he did. Probably thought Rudiger was coming.
if I see Rudiger at the club, bro, I won't even look at his girl, man. But look, Lukaku that chance in the second half, man. He had to score that, and the game was 0-0. That was a big chance, and you got to give it to Edison, who came off his line, and then Ziyech with the freaking rebound, he blasted it over. You guys had a perfect opportunity to hit Man City with with that uppercut, and you didn't take your chances, man. You really, really didn't take your chance. So it was a more open game in the first, let's say, as you mentioned, you guys came at us more in the early stages of the first half. The second
The
half, I
second half,
mean.
yeah.
And you were looking like the first half was poor. You're trying to take the game to City right about now. And at that point, I was making a note that Kovacic was your best player up until that point, and then he despite the costly mistake, he was your best player up on that point though. So look, you started seeing City like they wanted to, okay, we dominate in this game. It's time to actually score. Free kick, Kevin De Bruyne forced a save out of Kepa. You remember that one? When, Kepa set up the wall and, to his right, Kevin De Bruyne forced the save there. And I think the point in the game where I think the game changed, and I don't think a lot of people may have noticed this, but this is chess, not checkers. And whoever makes the right moves ultimately ends up winning the game, right? I'm not a chess player, but, understand the concept. Tuchel made the first move with the substitutions, right? He took off, they made a double sub in the 70 when he brought on Callum Hudson-Odoi and Werner. He took off Pulisic and Ziyech. And immediately, I think that was 68 minutes. And immediately after that, Kevin De Bruyne scored the goal. So could that have actually changed the whole dynamic of the game where this player who went off would have been there, and now the player that comes on is over there? No, just think about what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think. I think if Pulisic and Ziyech were out there, it would have been the same result. Because if we are to remember correctly, Kepa played the ball out, right? He kicked it out long. I think Laporte or one of your defenders, they towered over Werner. They won it, right? They won it back. It got to, I think, Cancelo, and Cancelo played it in to De Bruyne.
Cancelo give it to, and De Bruyne. The reason why I say N'Golo Kante didn't have the best game, the way De Bruyne got away from Kante as well. Kante could have pulled an ACL trying to get the ball away from De Bruyne, and that was absolutely brilliant.
I think the problem with that move was De Bruyne was already on the inside. It was on the wrong side of Kante, because how do I put this? If you watch back the video, you'll realize that De Bruyne was slightly on the inside while Kante was closer to the circle. You get what I'm saying? So when Cancelo passed the ball to De Bruyne, it actually came into feet. Perfect pass to foot. So Kante now is playing catch-up. De Bruyne is already ahead of him. Kante usually slides in from the blind side and picks your pocket. That's how he plays, right? No, De Bruyne had the ball on his blind side. So Kante, the only way he could pick that off De Bruyne, because he realized he couldn't pick it off, he was trying to foul De Bruyne, because when he slid, had that not gone in, I think the referee would have called it back for a foul, if De Bruyne hadn't scored that, because he fouled De Bruyne. De Bruyne just decided to stay on his feet. You get what I'm saying?
Which is great, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Him trying to foul De Bruyne, because that's a smart choice. He's already, because if you have a faster car, if you have a faster car and I have a slower car, my car is already heading 50 miles per hour and you are just starting off, then it's going to be difficult for my car. You get what I'm saying? To catch up. So, again, N'Golo Kante realized that he was not going to catch De Bruyne before he got that pass away. Because if you are to assess the move, De Bruyne was actually looking for a pass initially. And I think he said that too in his post-game press conference. He was looking for a pass because
he just saw the opportunity, the opening to shoot, and with his brilliance, man, that curler, that was brilliant, man. Look, it didn't matter who was in goal, whether it's Kepa, Mendy, Lev Yashin, it doesn't matter who. That would have been in the back of the net. And
I disagree with that bit.
you think Mendy would have saved that?
Yeah. I think Mendy saves that, because
bro.
Mendy said, all right, watch back the Champions League semi-final. Benzema.
I don't want to watch about
No,
nothing to do with that Champions League.
I'm telling you to watch it back because Benzema.
I don't want to watch nothing to do with that Champions League.
All right, fair enough. Let me explain it then. Okay, so Benzema had one where he swiveled and he tucked it the far corner, right, going down it next to the post. Mendy got fingertips to it and pushed it around the post. Now, the shot that De Bruyne kicked, it wasn't in the corner. I think it was probably 2 yards out of the corner. Right? The problem is Kepa made a step to his right before. So he stepped to his right, and I'm assuming he was trying to see the ball because he couldn't see the ball. The defenders were in front of the ball, as De Bruyne mentioned.
Yeah. He did curl the ball around the defenders.
Right. So
Mendy would not have saved that.
Mendy saves that, I think, and Mendy is 6'6", probably, or 6'8", somewhere there. So he's taller than Kepa.
So basically, you're trying to say Kepa's not good enough.
On that shot, he wasn't good enough. Yes, on that shot, he wasn't good enough. He had a good game, in my opinion. One of the best players for Chelsea, but
and he had good games against Tottenham too.
Yeah. He has been good this season, He has been good this season.
Yeah, he have.
But a number of clean sheets and all of that.
Do you think the fact that you guys played those Carabao Cup games and the FA Cup game while City only played the FA Cup game and a game early on in the year, do you think the fact that we were fresher than you coming into the match, that it helped?
It helped probably, but again, I'm not making any excuses.
I'm not saying you're making any excuses, but we have to analyze this because it's a pivotal clash that, basically if you won the game, the title race, you would have still been in the title race.
Let me put it this way then. If we're to consider all the variables, I think Chelsea being without a number of players consistently throughout the season. We've had 6 or 7 players out with COVID. We've had injuries when it comes down to our wing backs, where we play with our wing backs week in, week out. It's almost like considering an Antonio Conte team without wing backs. Then we play with wing backs. That's how we play. Manchester City, they play with. Go ahead.
But who do you think is to be blamed for this? Not the manager, though. When you really think about it.
I think we can't blame the manager. We can't blame the manager because he has to use what he has.
No, but I'm saying if you are the manager of a store and the employees are not showing up, right? You gotta blame you. You're the one who schedules the employees. If you burn out the employees by, not putting the schedule properly, or not hiring enough people, and then the ones you have to have them working overtime.
So what I'm saying, the employer. So the employer is the board.
What I'm saying, the manager has to be blamed. You see what I'm saying? And it comes down to the manager, because if you look at Pep Guardiola, and I come full circle back to where I'm saying it's a game of chess, right? And when Tuchel made those substitutions, what if he just don't make no substitution? Because at that point in time in the game, 1 point might actually be good for you. You see what I'm saying? But in his mind, he's thinking, I want to win this game, and I'm going to try to affect the game by bringing on these 2 players, right?
But the players that were out there weren't doing anything.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though. Sometimes nothing needs to be done.
No.
You know why? You know why I say that? You know why I'm saying that? Because I think Pep would not have done anything.
Listen, let me tell you something now. It's always easier to assess in hindsight.
No. Pep would not have done. I've seen this.
With Pep. I'm saying no, it's easier to assess in hindsight, because you're going to say what probably if he hadn't put on. No. I'm not assessing in hindsight. I'm just reiterating what I thought that moment when it happened. Norando, bro. Let me tell you something. Hold on before you finish.
Yeah. Talk.
I didn't expect Pulisic to come out the second half. Let me put it as blunt as that. I didn't expect Pulisic to come out in the second half, because for 35 minutes in the first half, I couldn't tell if he was actually on the field. That's how bad
So
he was.
he didn't really have anything to do.
He didn't do anything for the entire game. So the manager making a change in a 66 minutes, he probably could have actually made that change from halftime or even at 60 minutes. You get
what
I'm saying?
trying to say, right? I see what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is while I'm watching the game, the notes are right here. This is from while watching the game.
Yeah.
The notes. So this is not something that I'm realizing now, you know. I'm realizing this as I'm watching the game. So there's no hindsight here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But so, Dominic, we because had this game finished 0-0, right? With Pulisic and with Ziyech or with what have you, we still would have been asking, why didn't he make the changes? Because if those guys were out there and they weren't doing anything, why didn't he put out the attackers and show some desire?
Not necessarily, though, because guess what? Even though I'm on top of the table, I would have taken a draw from this game. You know why?
That's you. But I'm talking from a Chelsea
you know
perspective.
Why? You know why I would have taken a draw from the game?
Yeah.
Because just out of respect to the opponent, right? You're second in the league. You're capable of beating us. And I'm not talking about that odd result. I'm talking about high probability of beating us. And I would have taken a draw. And I think for Pep Guardiola, he want the win. He wants to win. But if the game was going in a direction where it was going to end in a draw, or he felt that the players he had on the field could have earned him the win, he would have not made a single change in the match.
Hey, I want you to stick a pin right there, because you said if he thinks the players he had on the field could have earned him the win. I don't think the players Chelsea had on the field could have earned them a draw or even a win.
And that's the reason why you think Tuchel made the change.
Exactly. But, because, again, Pulisic and Ziyech, they were non-existent. I think Ziyech had one of the worst games. His passing was off on a number of occasions I saw where he had the opportunity to put that pass in that we know he's capable of. We know he can put it in there.
Maybe he's having a little Afghan blues, you know?
Maybe. So, again, I can't say why didn't Tuchel make the change. Again, Tuchel is the one hunting, as Lukaku put it, because City can do anything in it. City don't have to make any changes. And at the rate the game was going, Manchester City were more likely to score, because they were in our half. We didn't have an out ball. Lukaku wasn't holding the ball up. And when he did get the ball, there wasn't anyone around him, because Ziyech and Pulisic were nowhere to be found. You get what I'm saying? So why are you going to sit there? Leave them out there. The first game that Chelsea played against Manchester City at Stamford Bridge, we went out negative. And we lost that game.
You went out very defensively.
Exactly. A low block. And we ended up losing that game 1-0. So why not go out there now and show some desire? And I know if he didn't make those changes, if he didn't show the desire, if he didn't show that he wanted to win that game, we would be out here and bashing Tuchel. No, I can come out and I can say, okay, I'm not blaming the manager. I'm more inclined to blaming the players because they didn't show up on the day, right? They didn't show up. The manager put the players out there to win it. Probably Mason Mount should have started. We can say this now, but Pulisic scored against Manchester City last season. Ziyech scored against Manchester City as well. So probably that's the reason why he put both of them out there. Probably that's the reason he got them out there and said, go get me a goal.
So, look, De Bruyne scored a stunning goal, and you guys had to chase the game. And then I saw, some real intention from Chelsea. Like, you guys were just, really trying to take the game to City. You know what I'm saying? You really were. And then Pep made a change, 84th minute. De Bruyne came off, Gundogan on, and Foden went off, Jesus came on. And I think those were the only two changes he made, if I'm not mistaken. And at that point in time, I think the race was won already. And the fact that Chelsea was chasing the ball throughout the entire game, and they didn't have enough in the tank, and that's why I alluded to the other games, the Chesterfield game, the games against Tottenham, the recent game against Liverpool. You played all that, and then you meet City, who are well drilled, the best team in the league, and fresh legs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you always had it up against you always had, you know, it was gonna be always a difficult game. And I confidently predicted a City win for this. Confidently. I never felt so confident in a while to predict a City win. And I wasn't
Actually
disappointed.
I didn't expect Chelsea to win either. I think had Chelsea drawn that game, I would have been
Would have
okay.
been a
Yeah,
good result.
no, not even a good result. I expected them to draw. If we remember, you know, Chelsea hasn't won any of the last. I think they've won one in the last four. You know, so the league run isn't that
yeah.
good for Chelsea either. You know, so
The
I'm
the
like,
other
okay, either a draw or lose because that's how we've been
yeah.
heading in the last few weeks. So it's
The other thing is the commitment, man. City, the unrelenting commitment by every single player when they're on the field is just unbelievable. And I think this is the separation between Man City and the other teams right about now, where everybody is just giving, you know, 100% all the time. The pressing. You see how Phil Foden was pressing Kepa, and you saw how Bernardo was always pressing. That's what you need. I didn't see no Chelsea player was really doing that on the day.
And again, that's why I said Mason Mount probably, right? Probably Mason Mount would have given me a better shift because Pulisic, I'd probably give him 1 out of 10 on the day. That's how bad he was. And Mason Mount, regardless of the game we're playing, regardless of how bad the team is, there's never a game that he plays that I come out and say, okay, Mason Mount didn't give his all today or didn't run. He always runs for 90 minutes. So regardless of who we're playing, Mason Mount, he's Chelsea's Bernardo Silva when it comes to pressing, right? Always pressing, always running, always hustling. And we needed that. We need that against Manchester City. Timo Werner is the same thing. We saw it in the Champions League. It was Timo Werner and Mason Mount always pressing because we understand that Manchester City, they are a properly drilled team in having the ball. Chances are you're going to be without the ball for some periods throughout the game. I think in the end, Manchester City ended with 56% ball possession. Chelsea ended with 44%, which was actually generous considering how the first half went. Chelsea coming back in the second half and regaining some bit of control of the football and trying to keep the football was actually commendable for them, considering they played up 20 minutes in the second half with Pulisic and Ziyech. So I think it's one of those games. The better team on the day won. The better team this season won. Chelsea still has some way to go. You mentioned commitment. We have so many players who are out of contract. Their futures are up in the balance and all of that. So
I've been talking about that too. I've been talking about that could affect the whole team too, because if you check City, you don't really have that going on. You know what I mean? You have the players happy with their financial situation and their situation at the club for the most part, right? But when you go over to Chelsea, then you have all these little issues in there. You know what I mean? The Rudiger, the Christensen issue, the Hudson-Odoi not really happy, Ziyech not really happy. You know, you have Aspilicueta's contract situation. Then you have Kepa not really happy. You have Loftus-Cheek not that happy with like the game time. You have Ross Barkley. So just think about that. You have the Lukaku situation recently.
So many noise outside of football.
Pulisic ain't that happy. You can't tell me Christian Pulisic is, you know, whenever he's not
happy. Can't be happy you play. And again, all of this is coming from Marina. This is all coming from. This is all a result of the Marina, the director. Right?
This is,
if she scouts properly, gets the proper backup for Chilwell and for Reece James, Pulisic wouldn't be playing right back for the last 3-4 games.
And the other thing too is maybe you guys have to start, you know, using your players actually. Use your players. Use your Conor Gallagher's, your Gilmore's, you know what I'm saying? You lost a player like Lamptey, you know what I'm saying? You lost a player like Guehi. Use the players that you have. Instead, you have quality players. Maybe they don't trust in those players. Or maybe because it goes back to the United complex again, where if you don't sign that big player, you're not it, basically.
You're a big club. I think when Lamptey when we sold Lamptey, I think it's more of, and it's the same thing with Liverpool. I think these players want game time that can't be guaranteed to them, right? When we sold Lamptey, Azpilicueta was the number one, and Reece James was just breaking in, right? So Azpilicueta has been with Chelsea for how many years? It's difficult for you to promise Lamptey just coming out of the academy so much game time throughout the season. So again, the good thing that Chelsea has done was insert a buyback clause into these players' contracts. So I think that's the smart thing. And again, it's more thinking the business aspect more than the footballing aspect. Because
but do you think the plan may have backfired this season, though, when you really think about it? Because you guys look really good from the get-go, you know, and in terms of squad. And now it's just looking like, you know, you now drop to third. Liverpool do have a game in hand. You have, you know, teams coming up, you know what I mean? And you never know. You could drop out
the backfire. No, again, I said we can only look back and say, okay, probably if we had done this right. And we've had this a number of times where even in your life you can say, what would have happened if I had done this or if I had done that, right? So I think Livramento, he was in the squad for the latter part of last season. I personally would have kept him at Chelsea this season. And had we kept him, we would have been in a better situation. No, because we're seeing he's proven to be a quality right back over there at Southampton. So otherwise, I think
it goes back to the manager and who's making the decisions as well. You see what I'm saying?
It's not in the manager. Again, it's not the manager, because remember, you know, when Tuchel came in, it was January. Tuchel came in January. Livramento was sold in the summer. So Tuchel would not have been in a position to negotiate certain terms with Livramento, because he would not have known so much about him. You get what I'm saying? So these players are young players. They want playing time. And that's why most of them go out on loan. Billy Gilmore, he had wonderful Euros. He came back, couldn't promise him game time. He decided, I wanted to go on loan, right?
But does it come down to the players as well, where you have a situation like Phil Foden where he decided, he's just going to stick around? I was telling somebody today, 5 years, man. It's been 5 years, bro.
Look at Jadon Sancho, because Jadon Sancho and Phil Foden were breaking through the same time.
Exactly.
Right? Both of them were coming through the same time, and Sancho decided he was going to leave because he couldn't wait.
Yeah.
He couldn't wait. He wanted to go play football. And he went away.
Sometimes it pays to wait, man.
True.
But look, Norando, we had planned to just talk for 25 minutes. We've been talking for a while. It's been fun. But before you go, you know, I have some more games to talk about as well. I'm going to do those on my own. But before you go, I just want you to talk about this right here. What is this, bro? You know what I mean? Like this is worrying, right? You're good. You're in the League Cup final. Yeah. You're in the next round of the FA Cup. Yeah. But the league form, bro, you're 13.
The Champions League too.
Yeah, Champions League as well, yeah. But you play Brighton next, and you drop points to Brighton earlier. You drop points to Liverpool. You know.
We've been dropping so much points.
Yeah. So what is going on? What is going on?
I think we have struggled with the consistency in closing out games for one. I think when Chelsea get ahead, we have to be ahead by 2 goals or so for me to be comfortable. Because from that blip, I think Mendy had a bad run where there was some concentration issues and everything started going downhill. The Manchester United game, I think, again, Jorginho messed that one up. We drew that game, and then the run of draws and losses started. So tie that in with the Mendy situation, we just started having individual mistakes, and those individual mistakes have cost us points. We've drawn, I think, maybe 7 games this season. Before that game against Manchester City on the weekend, we lost 2 games. Manchester City lost 2 games. However, we drew 7 games, right? I think Manchester City only drew twice or something like that. So we're losing points, not because we're losing games, but because we're drawing games. And with the COVID situations, a number of COVID cases, we still had to play our games with Wolves and with a few other teams. In the Lukaku situation, couldn't play Lukaku against Liverpool because of the drama off the field again. So when it's not one thing, it's the other, Dominic. And I just want to see a fully fit, a full Chelsea team out, because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think a draw is better than a lose. I'll take a draw any day. But some of these games that we're drawing, we should be winning. Manchester United came to Chelsea. They played a very, very low block. Jorginho sold that game. I think Manchester United may have given him some money for that one.
But look, man, look, is the season lost in terms of the title though? It is gone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. We have to look elsewhere now. We have to go and
Top four,
definitely, yeah, easy top.
Champions League, defending the Champions League.
Champions League, I'm a little bit iffy, because again, I'll go back to us not seeing our best team. Reece James out, and we rely so heavily on the wing backs. Ben Chilwell is out for the rest of the season. So even if we can not get a replacement for Reece James, I would definitely prefer a replacement for Ben Chilwell over on the left-hand side for the rest of the season if we're to compete, because I think they said Reece James will be out for 6 weeks. So I expect him sometime next month. He should be back in February. But for Marcos Alonso's side, I don't think we can win the Champions League with Marcos Alonso playing left back.
All right, well said. So all the best in the League Cup. You might win that. You might win that.
We might win the FA Cup too. We're good in the knockout competitions, you know.
All the best. You most likely will win the Club World Cup if you don't screw that one up too.
True.
You know,
so
and
probably finish the season with maybe 2 trophies.
Yeah, you might get a little silverware. You know, you get a little sippy cup or a little, you know.
Some silverware is better than
something.
So I'll take that.
You get something, man. You know what I mean? You get a little calabash or two. You
know I got the big one last season. So but effectively, Manchester City has turned the English Premier League Cup into a calabash. So no, we have to focus on the big one.
So look, before you go, bro, one last thing I gotta ask you. You know what I mean? Hard luck on the loss. You know, it's you and I could talk for 10 hours, it seems, about the league and everything. It's fun. It's fun. But do you think Thomas Tuchel is in danger of getting sacked? Like, just think about it.
No.
If things continue to go the way they are going right now, because the last couple of weeks you guys have been dropping a lot of points, right? You lost to City, you lost to West Ham, you drew to Brighton, Everton. You know what I'm saying? And this keeps going. And there's a situation where, for example, you don't win the League Cup. Okay, you win the Club World Cup, okay? And then in the league, you end up not getting the top 4. Let's just say that you get knocked out of the Champions League. And then the season that looks so promising ends up being, you know, you get a little trophy, one or two trophy. You did win the Super Cup, didn't you? And then Tuchel is under this kind of pressure. And then you go into next season and then you don't start well. And that is how you end up getting sacked.
But that's far off though, because if we check now, you know, next season is roughly 8 months from now. You know?
Bro. Do not underestimate my insight. I called Rafa Benitez's sacking. I called it.
Yeah, a blind man could have called that though.
No, not really. You know, because it made a U-turn when they sacked a higher up ahead of him.
First thing, Rafa Benitez shouldn't even be at Everton in the first place. Like I don't think there are 5 Everton fans who accepted Rafa Benitez.
I said that
he came from Liverpool. I am thinking, and I'll go back to those double agents. I'm thinking he's a Liverpool double agent because he sold Luca Digne to Liverpool icon legend Steven Gerrard at Aston Villa. So still working against Everton, still working for the red side of Merseyside. Rafa had to go. But for to your question with Thomas Tuchel, the thing with Chelsea is they sack managers when they have capable replacements, right? So even if even if they don't have it straight away, there is someone else thriving in another league that they can possibly go out and get, right? I don't see anyone out there now that Chelsea can go out there and get. Who are the top managers in the world? No. Who are the top managers? Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, who's at Chelsea, Hans Flick, Julian Nagelsmann. Hans Flick not gonna leave the German team. Julian Nagelsmann
Ten Hag.
not gonna leave. I don't think Ten Hag is Chelsea quality when it comes down to the serial winner that Chelsea expects. We expect silverware not to build a project, so he won't get the time with Chelsea to build a project because
you don't rate the boy Ten Hag like that, man.
I rate him highly, but he is more of a manager to build a team to compete and to win stuff. He doesn't have the pressure on him to win it right now. Kind of like Mauricio Pochettino. He will build a team, he will assemble players, he will find those best players to get the best in them to compete and to ultimately win it if it's in a less competitive league. But he's not going to come out like an Antonio Conte and be, okay, we need to win. He's not going to be like a Pep Guardiola who will say we need to win. And that's why Chelsea wanted Pep Guardiola. But again, the projects weren't the same because Guardiola's intention is to build something to dominate for a time. Chelsea wanted instant success and they couldn't see eye to eye on that. So who's out there know that Chelsea can actually go to and say, okay, you're going to win me something in the short term in 18 months? I can't think of anybody unless you are thinking someone else. But
Rafa Benitez. He's a high-profile man. You bring him back. He was former manager. You don't bring him back.
He's Chelsea. I think he won the Europa League with us.
Yeah, you bring him back. Listen, you can't put in nothing past. You can't put nothing past these executives, man.
True.
And
Marina is the problem with me. Marina is the problem I have.
Bro, let me tell you something, bro. If Thomas Tuchel continue like this, he's getting sacked. Remember, I told you this. He's gonna get sacked.
True.
And I think he knows this.
Again, if we look at it, he's only lost 3 games this season.
Norando, Chelsea expect to be a top club. You expect, as a top club, to win the title. You expect to win the title.
You also expect as a top club to back your managers. You also expect as a top club to back your managers.
It's not something that has been happening though.
That's what I'm saying. You understand? So you expect as a top, because all right, I think with Frank Lampard, he didn't deserve the job in the first place. So when he got sacked, I understood. Antonio Conte, we had the same problem with Antonio Conte. He placed his demands. Marina didn't want to meet his demands, and as such, they had a big argument over it. So you need to back your managers. You expect the managers to come out and to give you big performances. You expect them to give you results, yet you don't want to back them. You need to back your managers. If you can't come out and say, okay, I expect you to take me to Florida by boat, yet you don't give me an engine, you don't give me a paddle, you just give me a boat. That's true. So you need to give the manager the resources and all the tools he needs so he can be successful. We're now in the January transfer window. Chilwell has been injured for a few weeks now. Reece James has been injured.
You should have a couple guys queue up
in mind already. In mind,
because you have to look at it like this. It's a business, right? It's a business.
Spend money to make money in a business.
These players are employees, if you really think about it. And if one employee is unable to show up to work, then you have to replace that employee. You cannot sit back and wait until that employee comes back or use another employee in that position. Then you're going to get hurt, because then what's going to end up happening is you're going to have problems, because that employee that's filling in don't know that position. Yeah, it don't know that position.
He's going to be leaving his position too, because if I work on the toilet, if I'm the janitor and and the cashier gets injured, and you pull me from my janitorial,
then the toilet's gonna be dirty. Exactly.
So it brings it to my point. We need to back the manager. If this situation, I was on Twitter maybe a few minutes ago. I'm seeing Kurzawa being rumored. I'm seeing Perisic being rumored. 32 years old Perisic.
Yeah.
Mindless.
As a what? Left wing back?
As a left wing back.
Yeah,
Mindless,
nah.
brainless.
That
What are
don't
you
make
gonna
no
do?
sense.
Right. Chelsea doesn't give contracts to individuals over 30 more than 1 year. So you're gonna bring in Perisic, whose contract expires in the summer. You're gonna bring him in for what? 1 year? You're gonna give him a 1 year deal. Doesn't make any sense. So we aren't scouting properly. Marina isn't. I don't think she has the football brain. She probably understands the business aspect of it, and I think with her at the helm, we're heading somewhere to Ed Woodward kind of Manchester United kind of relationship where I don't want us to get there. We need someone to handle the football. If she's handling the business, she stays to the side, and the footballing director, whoever is handling the football, handles the football. But don't mix it. Just always looking at it as business football.
I think you guys, to be honest though, when you think about it, I think Chelsea are that type of club that wants that instant gratification and will do anything to get it. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you're more methodical in your ways, you could have more long-term success than sporadic success. And that's what you've been seeing with Chelsea. Won the Champions League with Drogba. What was that? 2012.
Yeah.
And then you won a league title, a couple league titles, but you have not really dominated. You see what I'm saying? You went from winning the league to coming ninth and things like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that these things you don't see at Man City. You know what I mean? And as much as people like to criticize City are a very good model to follow. And people like to say money and money. Everybody got money, bro.
You have to use the money properly.
Everybody got money, bro.
To use the money.
If you give every team $1 billion to spend, this is how we're gonna end this right now. And gonna let Norando go and watch his shows, If you give every team in the Premier League, let's say you give every team $1 billion to spend, some teams would throw it all away. You see what I mean? And you're gonna have some teams that are gonna go from maybe relegation and get into that Europa League area because they spend their money properly.
Right.
But you're going to get some teams that ends up being in the same position as they started because they just don't do that work. That you know? Manchester United.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
So Norwich, because they're not going to actually spend $1 billion. They're actually going to spend 100 mil and pocket the 900 mil.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just so that the club could stay stable. That's Norwich. So it's just how you spend the money, how you use the money, and just how you know what I mean, you approach things. Look, I've called it since maybe October or so. I predicted City's 12 match winning streak, and the league is a wrap. As much as Liverpool fans might think they still have a chance, the league is a wrap. No way.
Yep, it's a wrap. I agree.
And,
it's a wrap.
And to be honest, bro, I'm happy that we're gonna win the title, but I'm disappointed because there's still 16 match days to go, and I need people coming on the show, and we hyped, and we going into the 33 match game week 33, and this thing is still alive. This thing is still hyped. Farmers League this season.
Let's play devil's advocate and say it's football. You never know. Something might happen, folks. So tune in next week. Maybe Manchester City drop points. So you never know. Don't write it off as yet.
Exactly.
Don't write the league off. There's a high possibility.
People already going into depression, bro. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear me talk about City. They don't want to hear what I have to say anymore.
I watch the Champions League now.
Look, people anticipate in Champions League now. Forget about this Premier League. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, let me go watch the Portuguese league. There might be a 3-horse race over there or something.
Might as well.
So look, Norando, it's been a while. It's been almost over an hour we've been chatting, and during that time I was thinking I gotta hit up Norando. We gotta plan something and have like a 6 hour live stream or something because we could go all day. But tell the people where they can find you and all that good stuff.
All right. On Instagram, I think it's J_analyst. Twitter, it's the same thing, J_analyst 21. Halftime TV on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe as usual. Haven't gotten out that much content, but we'll get in the mode of doing it again, at least 2 or 3 videos or live streams weekly. But yeah, if you support Chelsea, if you support the Reggae Boys, we'll have some content coming, interesting news coming out of the Reggae Boys camp as well. So I'll probably do a video on that tomorrow. Some players making some big moves, a little bit of drama as well. So again, thanks for having me. The pleasure is always mine.
Anytime, bro. You know what I mean? Anytime,
yeah.
I appreciate
Keep up the good work, Dominic. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Yeah. We'll talk again. We'll talk again pretty soon, and all the best to Chelsea. You know what I mean? You could throw the Champions League in my face. I could throw the
I might donate one to you this season. We'll see. If you end up don't winning any, I might give you one.
And I could talk about the league double that I got over Chelsea. That's good.
True. It's one of those. But again, it doesn't come with silverware. So as I said, you don't win the Champions League this season, I'll send one over to the Etihad. So you have a fantastic stadium. So I think it would look good in the trophy cabinet.
I'll appreciate it. But with us beating the reigning champion and we beating everybody, it is about time that we win a Champions League, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Let us stop dodging that thing. We gotta win the Champions League so that we could get that respect.
I'm thinking, when did the investment come in? 2009?
It was around 2008, I think.
Oh, 2008.
That whole thing, happened.
So it's been 10.
It's been about 14 years.
14 years now. We're going 14 years. So,
but it's pretty good though. It's pretty good to go from where they.
It took Chelsea 8 years or 9 years, like 2003, 2004. 7 and 9 years before we won a Champions League. So I think you're due one. You're definitely due one.
We should have got one last year, but thanks to freaking Pep and playing no DM and all of that. But look, Norando, bro, it was nice catching up. I have a couple more games to talk about. It was this one I haven't really gone this in depth in a match like we've done. So I usually spend 30 minutes max. When it's a big game. But we went for over an hour, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that we could have talked about, and we didn't get to touch. True. Appreciate it, man. I hope you have a great 2022. Thank you, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, take care, Dominic. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye, folks. Remember, subscribe to Dominic Rich FC. Don't forget to subscribe, folks. All right? Bye-bye.
All right. Peace. So, guys, that's Norando Brown of Halftime TV. That was a good chat, though. Very good chat. Let me take my headphones off and I could get that display name away. You guys know who I am, right? So if you haven't yet liked the video, make sure you do so. Smash it up. We got 71 thumbs up. People came out in their numbers today. Really, really appreciate it. And we're going to continue this thing, though. We're definitely going to continue this thing. We're going to go back. And we're going to move right on to the next game. We have 2 more games to talk about. As a matter of fact, 3 games, right? We have the West Ham Leeds. We have Liverpool Brentford and Aston Villa Manchester United. But before I do get into those games, I'd like to say big up to everybody in the stream right about now. Chelsea Perspective, thank you very much for dropping your perspective all throughout the whole conversation. Big up to Double E. Big up Ryan LFC. How are you doing? Emmanuel Opoku, nice seeing you. Errol Brown in the house. Unruly Kenrick, I should say, in the house. Cuthbert McVeigh. Everybody in here right about now, man. Appreciate you guys coming through. Thanks for the super chat there, Chelsea Perspective. You and I got to chat soon as well. We'll get around to that. You know what I mean? Big up to Adam the Great. He just stopped by. Adam and I spoke about the game before. the match and just the build up and everything. So big up to Adam for coming on in the preview. And everybody, man, Wade, Delson, Dupe, everybody who's in here right about now, you guys are the real deal. Thank you very much. So what we're going to be doing right now, I have, Norando and I went on a little bit too long, to be honest. It's late right now in my neck of the woods. It's 10:51. So I got about half hour before I hit the bed. I gotta get some rest. Got work in the morning. It's Martin Luther King Day. There's snow outside. It's gonna be a nasty tomorrow, so gotta definitely be prepared for that one. So look, let's touch on the West Ham Leeds United game. We won't be super long on that one, but I do have some notes from that game that I actually wanna touch on. So West Ham 2, Leeds United 3. Congratulations to Bielsa and his boys. I think this is the first time this season that they actually picked up back-to-back wins. So you gotta give them some credit there, though. Even though they were depleted, they came out, they did their thing, they took the game to West Ham United, and they picked up a huge win. So I'm looking around for my... Didn't I make notes? I thought I made notes. I have notes for this. There's somewhere. I just can't find the freaking notes. I have notes for this, but I can't locate the notes for some reason, though. Where's the... Yeah, I found it. I just didn't highlight the freaking the teams, though. Like, goddamn, Dom, what are you doing? You're bugging out. So West Ham came into the game without Thomas Shusek. That's back-to-back games now without the Czech man. And you know how good he is in the middle of the field. Vlasic started for a third time in a row. And it was the usual suspects in the 11. It's good to see Aaron Cresswell back in the team. They're light in the back there as well. They did make a substitution late in the game, brought on a youngster by the name of Sonny Perkins. So shout outs to him, Andrzej Yarmolenko and Artur Masuaku were the other two changes as well. For Leeds, got to make this note before I forget. Lewis Bate came on in the 22nd minute, and he was subbed off as well. Another youngster was brought on. 2 early substitutions, and you got to give it to Leeds. They had an early setback with Forshaw and Junior Firpo coming off early. They had a young bench. They even had a 15-year-old on the bench. I think Archie Gray is his name, 15 years old. This is how depleted Leeds United have been this season and are right now as we speak. Calvin Phillips out. I think Llorente have been out with suspension. You have the likes of the names. Liam Cooper is actually out as well. So they heavily depleted. Look at their defense. The defense, you have Stuart Dallas and Pascal Strike at the back. And we talk about how versatile this Leeds United team could be, where anybody could actually play anywhere. It's a good thing, but it could also be a very, very bad thing. So they came into the game very short-handed, but they ended up with all 3 points. So bright start to the game for Leeds, and they did get their reward early on in the match. Goal by Jack Harrison there. Brilliant stuff. He's had a slow start to the season, and that was Adam Forshaw with the assist. So pity that he had to go off early in the match. But the goal was merited as Leeds United took the lead. Yeah, I don't mean to say it like that, but yeah, Leeds United took the lead. So, look, Dawson did get a header that went wide. That was a close chance in the 38th minute. And West Ham was teasing to actually get back in the game. They did. Jared Bowen headed in a corner there. Aaron Cresswell with his quality. And the man in form right now, Jared Bowen, who I've been raving on about, headed it into the back of the net to give West Ham the equalizer. But, they say when you just score, you're at your most vulnerable. They switched off. And it was Harrison again. Corner came in. Luke Ayling with the header. And it was tapped in at the back post there by Jack Harrison for his brace to put Leeds United back in front. So quality stuff, quality stuff. So look, West Ham did actually get back into the game. Pablo Fornal's a brilliant individual goals teed up by Mikel Antonio, but it wasn't enough because yet again, 8 minutes after they equalize, they give up the lead with the goal. I mean, they give up the point, I should say, with Rafinha picking out Harrison out wide, lots of space, and Harrison with the presence of mind to chip the out-rushing Fabianski. So first senior hat-trick for Jack Harrison, who I met in the airport about 4 years ago on my trip to Florida there, and I went on a cruise. Jack Harrison was there. David Villa, Patrick Vieira with the NYCFC team, and he's definitely come a long way from his days in the MLS. So big up to Jack Harrison, who was a former City player. Well, he was basically a City group signing. NYCFC part of the Man City group, and he was sold to Leeds United. And I think Jack Harrison was actually a player that had enough quality to make it at Man City, but that's in the past. That won't happen again. But after that brilliant setup by Rafinha did hit the woodwork in the 62nd minute. Matthias Klick did score fourth. That was later chalked off in the 74th because Rodrigo was actually on the line and the ball touched him when Klick put it in the back of the net there. Yarmolenko did score a goal, and that came after a big save made by Melier. But Yarmolenko was offside for the equalizer. And then West Ham had a big chance to equalize to Jared Bowen. Instead of heading it in, he used his chest and it went over. And the game ended 3-2, a thriller in favor of the Whites, Leeds. Big 3 points for Leeds United indeed, though. And man of the match, Jack Harrison, of course. First match ball in senior football. Got to give it to him. Got to give it to Leeds United for the effort that they put out. You also got to give some credit to West Ham United for actually competing at a very high level. And David Moyes did come out and say that the team is a bit tired. You know what I'm saying? And you could understand that with the COVID situation, injuries, and so on and so forth have really hampered West Ham's progress this season at times. They have been rather mercurial lately, where they'll pop up and, get a victory against Chelsea and then end up losing to Leeds United by the same scoreline where, you expect them to put out a better performance, man. So hard luck to West Ham. I see the West Ham fans whining and, crying about the result. But if you ask me, West Ham are overachieving this season. And you get results, like this, you should just take it on the chin and keep it moving. I know it's a way that you'd be like, damn, you can't look at it like that. You got to be ambitious. But no, man, West Ham are overachieving. They're still fourth place. Even though Arsenal do have 2 games in hand and Tottenham has like 4 games in hand. West Ham are fourth right now. This is not something that we see a lot. They're fourth, okay? So the fans need to just take it one game at a time and, be happy that they're in this position right now. So it was an even game of football in terms of possession and the shots at goal, shots on target, and all that good stuff. But, West Ham would feel like they should have got a point from the match. And I feel they should have got the point too. I really feel they should have got the point. So well played to Leeds, though. I think they need the points a bit more than West Ham, and with those 3 points they go up to 22 back-to-back wins for the first time this season, and they were actually on a very, very bad run, man. They were on a bad run, and it's good to stop the bleeding there. So they're 15th with 22 points, not bad at all, and West Ham 4th with 37 points. For the Hammers, their next game is against the mighty, almighty, not so mighty Manchester United. And for Leeds United, their next match will be against Newcastle. And then they do have Villa, Everton, and Manchester United coming up. So I think it's going to continue to be a fight, a struggle for Leeds. They'll win a few. They'll survive. I think they'll survive. They don't have to worry about relegation too much as for now, unless they really go into a slump. But they'll be fine, man. They'll be fine. But guys, that's my thoughts on that game. David Moyes and West Ham just have to take it on the chin and keep it moving. So let me know your thoughts on this match. Definitely going to keep it moving. We have the Liverpool game to talk about. And we have the match between Aston Villa and Manchester United to actually talk about as well. But guys, before we do get into the last two games here, let's take a word from our sponsors. And that's no other than MANSCAPED. Needs no introduction whatsoever. Cheers to 2022 and the resolutions you can actually keep. How about upgrading your grooming routine for the new year? Our sponsors at MANSCAPED are here to make the ball drop into 2022 the cleanest ever. Set your first New Year's resolution with good intentions and join 4 million men worldwide who trust MANSCAPED with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the coupon code Dominic Rich for 20% off plus free shipping. That's Dominic Rich, 20% off plus free shipping. All the links would be in the description box down below. Guys, before I did this live stream, I took a shower and I actually used the new Ultra Premium body wash. Okay, so to pair with the Performance Package 4.0, there's a lot of accessories you could add to any of your orders. And you talk about the foot duster, the refined cologne, the crop mop, the crop preserver, the body wash, the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. And the body wash, it smells great. The cologne, it smells great. And it just gives you that good feeling, man. Enhance your confidence. So inside the Performance Package 4.0, you'll find a signature Lawnmower 4.0, and this electric trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin. The advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts and nicks all over. It comes equipped with a 4000K LED spotlight that will shine a light to the promised land 2022 looks to be. When it gets dark, you won't have to worry. You have wild hairs coming out your ears or your nose? Well, Manscaped can solve that too with their Weed Whacker. This nose and air trimmer uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system to provide proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes. And like I said before, when you say delicate holes, just take your mind out the gutter, please, I beg you. But polish off your stellar routine with free gifts, including the Manscaped Shed Travel Bag and anti-chafing boxer briefs to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. And the new product, as I mentioned, needs no more introduction. The Ultra Premium Body Wash from Manscaped solves all three for the perfect addition to your daily grooming routine, but in the shower. This body wash smells great too. It's cologne infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, nice, and moisturized. So kick discomfort and poor hygiene to the curb this year and use the best tools for the job. I like to say the best tools for your family jewels, okay? So whether your resolution is to work out more or to travel to new places, be sure to travel to manscaped.com for our exclusive offer of 20% off plus free shipping with the code Dominic Rich FC. So without further ado, guys, let's get back into the content. Trust me, your balls would thank you. All right, so we're going to move right into the next game, and that match is the Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 2 match. Look, Banter Club. Banter Club. It's pathetic. It is just pathetic. 2-0. 2-0. Bruno Fernandes with the craziest celebrations. And you end up drawing the game. It's laughable. And I say this once again, it's laughable. You have Jadon Sancho, who you paid almost £100 million for. Or whatever you paid for him. $100 million, euros, whatever. He's on the bench. Jadon Bencho. I know the young kid, Anthony Elanga, had a bright game. But Sancho, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, bro. You came in and you haven't really done enough. You've had a few games, but you have not instilled the confidence in the manager to play you every single game. You get everything you deserve. Let's just put that out there. United are a pathetic team. Okay? Even if you predict them to win the games as a rival fan, they still will go out and do things like this. But it's a good thing I predicted a draw for this match. Aston Villa felt like they deserved more from the cup game where they lost narrowly 1-0. And they did go out there and put out a quality performance. Despite going 2-0 down, they were actually trying. And you gotta actually give Steven Gerrard some credit here for the changes he made when he made those changes to affect the game. The signings they made, a Philippe Coutinho, a Luca Dean. Man United could have made those signings. Just think about it. Manchester United could have gone and brought Coutinho in. They could have went and got Luca Dean. You see what I'm saying? But they didn't make those moves. They really didn't make those moves because I think those moves were probably not in the best interest of maybe winning football games. But, they want to bring in players where they could maybe sell t-shirts, sell jerseys, maybe. Maybe that's what they care more about. Selling Cristiano Ronaldo jerseys and Jadon Sancho and Cavani jerseys, Varane jerseys, Maguire jerseys. You see what I'm saying? You get the point? With those players not being as effective as they should be, with maybe the exception being Cristiano Ronaldo. Joke. Laughable. I was saying, goddamn Villa, you done effed up. You're going to lose the game. And then Philippe Coutinho happened. But anyways, just to touch on the match, 4 changes for Villa from the last Premier League game. Luca Dean at a new signing starts. Morgan Sanson started as well. And Philippe Coutinho on the bench. 6 changes to the Manchester United team that lost to Wolves. 6 changes. Let that sink in. 6 changes. Let it sink in. 6. Ralphie, bro. Ralph, you're all over the place now. You're losing it. You're losing it. It's all over the place. I know there might be injuries and coronavirus and AFCON and all these things, but you're all over the place, bro. All over the place. Let's take a look at this 11 here. Let's go. Let's take a look at the 11. I don't want to get too deep into, this rant about United or whatever because, I really don't. I really don't. Look. Lindelof back in the team. Varane, the gift that keeps on giving. Dalot and Telles back in the team again, right? It's like the fullbacks are playing musical chairs. Fred back in the team. Matic in the team. McTominay suspended. Bruno Fernandes scored both goals. Good on him. Celebrated the second one like he had just won the freaking Champions League. Greenwood, Cavani, Anthony Elanga. Ronaldo is out, right? Injury. You take a look at the bench. Remember the previous, wasn't the previous game? How is Harry Maguire? Why is Harry? How? There might be a more underlying story to why Harry Maguire is on the bench. It might be, but an explanation is needed. Jadon Sancho, why is he on the bench? You see what I'm saying? I don't get it. Jesse Lingard came on late in the game. For what? I don't know. Wow, what do you think? You're going to score a goal in Fergie time or something? I don't know. But it's just when you look at this team, This team ain't no good. Just look at it. Look it in its face. It's no good. It's no good. On the other hand, look at what Aston Villa are trying to build here. They spent money, but it seems as if they're spending the money in the right places, right? Luka Dean came in and had a great game. Philip Coutinho, brought in from Barcelona, man of the match performance. Young Jacob Ramsey given the opportunity. Every game, Gerrard has this man in the team. This young kid. Every game. You see what I'm saying? Jacob Ramsey. And he's one hell of a player, man. He is one hell of a player. I think United could learn a lot from Aston Villa, man, who beat them earlier in the season at Old Trafford at that. Lost in the league, in the cup game, but bounced back to earn a point from a losing position. You gotta give it to Villa. You definitely gotta give it to Villa. So in this game, just for some, stats there, and some key moments, I should say. The goal came in the 6th minute. Bright start by United. Bruno Fernandes did hit one straight to Emi Martinez, who had a howler. That was a definition of a howler. I don't understand how he allowed that ball to go through, his arms like that. And that was a comical goal to concede. He was complaining about Cavani's position. Cavani had nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? But the 18th minute was when he redeemed himself. Saved the shot from Greenwood. That should have been another goal, but wasn't taken. And another shot in the 33rd minute was also saved from the boot of Mason Greenwood. 36th minute, Aston Villa had their best chance, and it was saved. Buendia's header from the corner. That was saved at point-blank range by David De Gea, basically Man United's savior this season. And Luka Dean had a very good shot that was saved by De Gea as well. 1-0 at halftime for Manchester United. Look, they started the second half very brightly, but Villa did get a couple look-ins as well. Anthony Elanga in the 47th minute, saved by Martinez. So, Emi Martinez, even with his howler, he did bounce back to put out a very, very good performance in the end. Ramsey had a shot saved by De Gea, and then Elanga had another opportunity that went wide. But then, the changes. Let's just take a look at the lineup once again and identify when the changes were made. I know Ezri Konsa had to go off with an injury. Courtney Howes came on, replaced him. And Courtney Howes must be a happy man. He's a bench warmer these days. But look at the changes that I'm talking about. The Philip Coutinho change, and then the second change of bringing on Carney Chukwuemeka, who seems like he got that golden touch off the bench. But it was the Coutinho change that really affected the game. Philip Coutinho came in, 68 minute. He had a chance saved in the 73rd. But, wait, I forgot to mention the second Man United goal, right? They scored. Sanson with a bad back pass, and you saw when Sanson got subbed off, he was so pissed. I don't know if he was pissed at being subbed off or if he was pissed at actually, conceding that, that horrible back pass and allowing United to score. But the way, when Fred set up Bruno and the way Bruno Fernandes celebrated, you could go back and watch that and just laugh. You see what I mean? Because he was way over the top. Way over the top. And I felt kind of bad for Bruno Fernandes. His team didn't really, back him up there. He scored twice and they conceded twice. So back to the Coutinho situation. Philip Coutinho came on just after the goal for Sanson, who was pissed off. And that was the moment where the game changed on its head. Master stroke by Steven Gerrard. Because look, Gerrard could have easily said, you know what, Coutinho, man, I know we're 2-0 down right now. The game is lost. You know what? Let's just bring on Ashley Young and just do, damage limitation. You know what I'm saying? Or use that opportunity to bring on a youngster, get some game time or whatnot. Or just bring on Matt Target, give Luka Dean a break or whatever, right? You see what I'm saying? And I feel bad for Matt Target as well. There goes your number one left back spot, bro. So the Coutinho substitution, master stroke, and it proved to be the catalyst that they needed, Aston Villa needed to get back in the game. So the goal, 77th minute. Let me see if I'm getting the time right here. 77 minute. Jacob Ramsey, his first goal at Villa Park, and it was Chukwuemeka, the Chukwuemeka substitution as well, as I mentioned earlier, a big one. Chukwuemeka linking up with Coutinho, who put it on a platter for Jacob Ramsey to score a brilliant goal to bring Aston Villa back in the game. They could have dreamt again. Okay, so United not really seeing or taking heed of the warning shots, give up a second goal. Buendia to Ramsey down the left, and Ramsey with the square right across goal. Nobody there to stop Philip Coutinho from running in and tapping it into the back of the net. Coutinho coming off the bench with a goal and an assist in the space of literally 14 minutes. Man of the match performance. Former Liverpool man coming up against United must have just dreamt about picking up a win in his first game back in the Premier League. He said he missed the Premier League. And Philip Coutinho, bro, we miss you too, man. We miss you too. You should have never left. But maybe it happened for a reason. He left. Liverpool actually was able to use that money, fund the Van Dijk and Alisson signings, and they won the league and they won the Champions League since then. So everything does happen for a reason. But Philip Coutinho is back, but this time under his former teammate Steven Gerrard at Aston Villa. What an equalizer. Man United also a stat, haven't scored from over 100 corners taken this season. And more questions for Man United. More questions for Ralph Rangnick to answer. As for Steven Gerrard and Aston Villa, listen, man. Listen, they're doing fine. They don't have to really worry about the pressure of being in the top four or winning the league or anything like that. But after 2 losses on a bounce, they earn a point. 23 points from 20 games. They need 17 more to be safe from the drop. And I think they'll be fine. I think Aston Villa will be absolutely fine this season. And it's a fine performance to come back from behind to earn a point off Manchester United of all teams, right? Pathetic! Absolutely pathetic, if you ask me. Aston Villa are winless in the last 23 home games against Manchester United since a 3-1 victory in August of 1995. It's the longest winless home run one side has had against another in the English Football League history. But listen, I'm going to give this draw a win. This draw must feel like a win to Aston Villa. In all competitions, Manchester United are unbeaten in the last 23 away games at Aston Villa. Well, this is the same freaking insight. Man United have failed to win a Premier League away game in which they led 2+ goals for the first time since January of 2016 against Newcastle, a 3-3 draw. So quality stuff by the Villains, and I'm just happy they were able to make my prediction come true and get a point, man. United, where do they go from here? Who could they actually bring in to make them a title-winning club again? A lot of questions for Ralph Rangnick to answer, and it's just been a horror show of a season so far, if you ask me. Because for United, they must have had ambitions of the title. Bringing in Ronaldo, bringing in Sancho, bringing in Varane, and you find yourself after 20 games with 32 points in 7th, while your rivals, Man City, have 56 points. This is ridiculous. 24 points ahead of Manchester United. Why nobody talk? Aren't anybody talking about the fact that City are 24 points ahead of United? 24 points. This is unbelievable. Sir Alex Ferguson must be having a horrible time looking at the Premier League table right about now, like he have been across the last 5 seasons or so, right? So, look, that's my thoughts on the game. In terms of Villa and their next match, their game coming up would be against Everton, a struggling Everton. Against Leeds, they have Newcastle and Watford, Brighton, Southampton. They have some nice games coming up, though. They got a nice run of games where they could definitely win a handful of these and get on, maybe challenge for the Conference League or something like that. Who does Manchester United in 7th place right now plays next? The next game is against Brentford. Yeah, they should handle Brentford, but then you got West Ham coming up. Yeah, you got Burnley, Southampton. They got a nice run as well before they do play Atletico Madrid in the league. So I like to take the time to big up to everybody in the house right about now, man. Big up to King Huddle, MVP Kev, EE. Kev says, going in on United. I love it. AD in the house. Coutinho likes to score against United, says AD. I think he scores the most goals against United when he used to play at LFC. Firmino has been struggling since Coutinho left Liverpool. Big up to everybody watching the stream right about now, man. Guys, we got one more to go. Never planned to do a 3-hour live stream, but it is what it is. Big up to the boy Norando for coming in and making it happen. I was actually planning to do like an hour 45 minutes, and I would have been fast asleep already. But let us talk about the final match of today's roundup. Liverpool 3, Brentford FC 0. Guys, let me just say this before I talk about this match. I had absolutely no doubts that Liverpool would win the game. Forget about everything I was talking about in the earlier stages of the season, or even last month, or even in November when I was talking about the African Cup of Nations. I was only saying that to just hype things up, you know what I mean? And have something to talk about, because in the preview I did mention that Liverpool would be fine against Brentford, who lost 4-1 to Southampton in the middle of the week. So I could not have seen, I know it's a Premier League and it could happen, but I didn't see Brentford bouncing back to actually get anything out of the Liverpool game, despite picking up a 3-3 draw early on this season. And if you really took a look at this Liverpool 11, this is a rather strong Liverpool 11 without a Salah, a Mane, and a Naby Keita. The 11 still looks very, very strong, if you ask me. Curtis Jones coming in. You have Jota, Oxlade, Chamberlain, and Firmino up top. Solid team. You have the backline that you want in Alisson, Van Dijk, Robertson, Matip, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. You have a quality midfield in Henderson, Fabinho, and Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones, I think, had a bright game coming back from a injury layoff there. And your top three has been performing admirably, or okay this season in the likes of, Firmino to a lesser extent. He's been injured. But Ox, I think, has been bright, and Jota has been scoring them for fun. And you check the bench, you have Konate, Gomez, Tsimikas, Williams, Milner to mention. Minamino coming off the bench to score. Cade Gardner making his Premier League debut there, I think. So you have more than enough weapons to defeat Brentford without Salah and Mane. Right, guys? Despite struggling against Arsenal in the FA Cup to break down that team that only had 10 players, you came out, and I think Liverpool were very patient in this game. They needed to be, and they ended up winning the game. So for Brentford, one change with Rico Henry coming in and Sergi Canos, a former Liverpool man, going out. And I did mention that there was a midweek fixture between Southampton and Brentford where Brentford lost the game by 4-1. So dominant start by Liverpool, a few look-ins, none taken, but they had a lot of the ball in the opening, let's say 20 minutes of the game. And then Virgil van Dijk had a brilliant shot saved by the goalkeeper Alvaro Fernandez, who's there on loan, filling in for the injured David Raya. And I have to say, for the first 30 minutes, Liverpool bossed the possession, but still there was no goals to actually show for it. So I think this must have been in the back of Klopp's mind, in the back of the players' mind, that they were dominating the match. They were all over Brentford, but unable to get one in the back of the net. Ivan Toney did get a look in that went wide, and at that moment the game was actually screaming out for a goal. It came 44th minute, Trent Alexander-Arnold with that corner, and Fabinho being a very, very lucky recipient to that ball that was allowed to bounce. The corner came in and allowed to bounce. Come on, man. Poor defending by Brentford, and well scored by Fabinho there to give Liverpool the lead. So I think I credit that one to very poor defending and not dealing with that ball coming in. But good on Liverpool to score. I think they actually deserved the goal. They were on merit. 1-0. Brentford still in the match, of course. So it's not as if Liverpool were all saying, okay, we got one, we could now, let's say, relax. No, you can't relax at this level, especially from what happened in the first fixture early on this season where they came back through Johan Wissa to score that equalizer, right? So Fabinho did get a volley saved in the 50th minute. Curtis Jones had a shot saved, easy saved. Jota hit the post in the 63rd minute and had a chance saved in the 66th minute by the goalkeeper Fernandez. So still in the game. Johan Wissa brought on, Shandon Baptiste taken off, 68 minutes. So you could see Thomas Frank trying to affect the game, trying to make something happen. But it may have come, to their detriment. Substitution made, like I was telling, Noranda earlier about the whole Chelsea making the substitutions and then City scoring just after. These things do affect the match. They do. Oxlade-Chamberlain, brilliant crossing by Andy Robertson, and what a header by the Ox to give Liverpool a second goal. Look, I have to blame Ethan Pinnock here. You gotta head that away. He did attempt to head the ball and missed the damn header, and Oxlade-Chamberlain was there to pounce on it and put it in the back of the net. Klopp being 2-0 up made some changes. We take a brief look and you see the changes Klopp made here. Ox in the 74th minute was taken off. And then in the 78th minute, Roberto Firmino was taken off. And 82nd minute, Diego Jota for James Milner, the 78th, Minamino the 74th, and Cade Gordon in the 82nd minute. So, look, that goal that was scored by Minamino just after he came on was an absolute gift. Brentford trying to play the ball out from the back, and the goalkeeper selling his defender short. Ball was pounced on and teed up Minamino for an easy third goal there. Firmino with the hard work and credited with the assists. Liverpool back to winning ways. They go ahead of Chelsea in second. And with the fact that they do have games in hand to Manchester City, let's just take a quick look at the table right now. Take a look at the table. Liverpool with one game in hand, actually. They are right now 11 points behind City. Let's say they win that one game in hand. They go up to 8 points behind. And if Man City do drop points and they give Liverpool a sniff to, creep up. So as much as I'm saying the title race is over, I do think it's over. But come on, guys. In reality, you never know what could happen. You see what I'm saying? Points could drop. Teams could catch up. And, there could be a title race all over again. But knowing Man City, knowing what Pep Guardiola has built, it's hard seeing that happen. So I think Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham, all of these guys are, better focus on scrapping it out for those top 4 places. While Man City should go on to be runaway leaders in the Premier League again this season. Some may not agree with it, but I think that is exactly what will happen. So, look, big 3 points for Liverpool. You see again on the table, they go ahead of Chelsea. And if they win that game in hand, they have an opportunity to stretch that lead to 5 points ahead of Chelsea. That's not bad at all, judging from the way Chelsea started the season. For City, we've stretched that to 13 points. You see what I'm saying? We're not playing no games, none whatsoever. No games at all. So, look, for Liverpool, they must be happy about this win. I know the fans are happy. I went on YouTube. I seen the various Liverpool channels. They were hyped. They were buoyant. And the Liverpool fans came out in their numbers like they do when they win. And that's the only time Liverpool fans do come out, when they win. And when there's a transfer. When you have a new player coming in, yeah, they come out in their numbers. But a draw? A loss? Cricket, man. Crickets. It's like you're playing hide and seek with these Liverpool fans. You can't find them nowhere. But hello, how are you doing, man? Nice to see you back out in your numbers again. And I think it was a good performance without Salah and Mane. You could see in various parts of the game where it was actually crying out for Mo Salah or Sadio Mane. But the team actually, have to get used to playing without these guys. You don't want your team being a 2-man team or a 3-man team or 1-man team. You want to build a unit where everybody has a role to play, and at any given time a player could step in and replace a Salah, a Mane, a Firmino, a Diego Jota if he is injured or missing through suspension or any one of those things. But Liverpool, like I said at the beginning, I never expected any other result but a win. I don't think Brentford had enough in the tank to really threaten Liverpool, especially at Anfield. But you got to give Brentford a lot of credit here. They have been the best promoted team this season. You take a look at the table once again. Brentford are 14th. Not a promoted team in Watford are 17th. And Norwich City are 18th. Brentford are not in the relegation scrap right now. They do have 23 points, 6 wins, 5 draws, 10 L's. They absolutely have to keep picking up points. They got to keep picking up points. I think early on in the season when they did get the point against Liverpool, that was an added bonus. That was a bonus. That was never going to happen. That was a bonus, right? But it ain't going to get easier for Brentford at all. They do play Man United, Wolves, and Man City in their next 3 games. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be a challenge. We know what they're capable of doing. We can't take them lightly, but we know that it's going to be a challenge, man. The Premier League at whole is a challenge. So I think Liverpool, they have Crystal Palace next, and they should actually feel like they could navigate this period without Salah and Mane seamlessly. But when I say they have Palace next, I'm talking Premier League. They do have Arsenal in the semi-final second leg of the EFL Cup, where it was a 0-0 on aggregate so far in the tie. They do have Cardiff City in the 4th round of the FA Cup. And the next game against Leicester, who they recently lost to Inter Milan in the Champions League. They have a few easier matches coming up, February 13th and 19th against Norwich and Burnley alike. But, Burnley picked points off Liverpool last season, so you never, ever, ever know. But look, I'm not going to be super long on this review. No need to be. I think, it took an effort in the initial stages for Liverpool to actually break down Brentford. But when they got it going, they definitely had fun on the day and, scored a few goals. So, yeah, congratulations to Liverpool on the win. Back to winning ways, right? Back to winning ways. Because if we really check, let's just do a quick check here. Let's just do a quick check here on Liverpool right now. Let's do a quick check on Liverpool and what they've achieved lately. The 0-0 against Arsenal, the 4-1 against Shrewsbury, well, that was expected. But the 2-2 draw against Chelsea. The last 3 matches in the Premier League, right? Look. The Tottenham game, 2-2. 1-0 loss to Leicester and the 2-2 draw against Chelsea. So they needed to bounce back in the league. Forget about the cups right now. They needed to bounce back in the league, and they definitely did. This would do a lot of good for the confidence of this Liverpool team, as they would look to close the gap on Manchester City. Because right now, Liverpool holds the key to hope of some type of title race here, because it's over, in my opinion. I do think it's over, but you never ever know, man. You never ever know. You never ever know. Trent Alexander-Arnold given king of the match. As you guys can see, Klopp doing his signature punch in the air. Very, very happy about the win. Thomas Frank and Brentford could walk away proud. They've been the best promoted team this season, and if they continue in the way they've been playing, they would actually stay up and survive. And I think they will survive, though. They may have been placed on relegation watch 1 or 2 times this season, but that's understandable with a team that's, promoted from the championship. Look, Ox would be happy with this goal. Fabinho as well, and Minamino, where you have Mo Salah and Mane absent. 24 goals between them this season, I think. And Naby Keita with a few. You're going to need other players to step up. Diego Jota didn't score on the day, he came close. But you have Oxlade-Chamberlain, you have Fabinho, and you have Minamino scoring. So there you have it, man. Liverpool might just go unscathed without Mo Salah and Mane. You see what I'm saying? But it just might not be enough to win the league. So that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the game. Let me know yours in the chat. Congrats to the Reds. Hard luck to the Bees on that loss. Premier League ain't easy. It ain't gonna be, the same like the 3-3 draw, right? So, guys, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate that. It's late. Big up to Joshua. Big up to E. Big up to Dupe. AD. Chelsea Perspective, if you're still in here. Everybody, if you're still in here, man. 3 hours. Damn. It's been a long-ass live stream, man. Tired, man. God damn. Oh, man. Listen. I wanted to talk a little Afghan. I might not even talk the Afghan, man. I might just go to sleep. It's late. It's late. But it's been a fun one, though. It's been a fun one. It's been a fun roundup. 16 more roundup to go. Guys, make sure you tune in your numbers next time as well. I have to do some scheduling. Appreciate that. We got 80 likes today. Make sure you like the video if you're yet to do so. For those of you guys watching the replay, thanks for tuning in. Guys, don't forget to check out the sponsors, MANSCAPED, for all your below the waist grooming needs. A lot of accessories to help rebuild your confidence or build your confidence if you never had your confidence was never up there. But you're talking about the body wash, as I mentioned, that I tried, and I absolutely love it. The cologne, I love the smell. And I'm not just saying this. I'm absolutely for real here. So these are things that I do recommend. I'm not going to recommend something and then you're going to be like, oh, Dom, you're a fraud, Dom. Nah. Trust me, your balls would thank you, man. Code Dominic Rich, 20% off, free shipping. All the links in the description box down below. And until my next video, I like to say thanks for watching. Peace out. Rich Squad. Peace. And thanks for the continued support, guys. You guys are the real deal. Peace.